Marnus, congratulations on your innings, but bittersweet feeling with the result.
Yeah, I'm probably still going through the motions, thinking about where I could have potentially, found those extra 5 runs, where I could have taken the game on a little bit more. Did I leave it a bit late? Those are the things that I'm sort of evaluating, making sure that if we're in that situation again, I can get us over the line. But it's obviously pleasing to get some runs, but yeah, very disappointing not to get us over the line there.
You're obviously a perfectionist because, remarkably, I suppose that was your first official half-century in this form of the game. So how much does that mean to you to be sure that you can do it in 20 overs as well?
Look, I probably never doubted that I could get a 50, but for me it's about winning games for my team, if that's for Australia or Glamorgan or Queensland or whoever else I'm playing. So for me, it's, although I played well today, but it's evaluating and making sure if I can, maybe bowl that over slightly better, don't miss wide, there's that extra 4 runs. That's just on me. But I think for me personally, yeah, that's just how I evaluate it and try and get better and make sure that, come Sunday, we chase these runs down.
How much have you changed your strokes and your shot selection for T20 cricket then?
Probably early on not too different, but yeah, then sort of through the middle, yeah, it looks a lot different. I feel it's different. I don't know how it looks, but yeah, it looks a lot different. Just targeting the right areas, getting a feel of the bowlers. A lot of the bowlers bowling with seamers with the keeper up. That's something that I've never ever faced in T20 cricket before. So just a new challenge, and it's it's exciting.
I think you're probably challenged to see the ball at all in this light.
Nah, look, it's nice to have the crowd back and to be playing a game. It would have been a pity if we had to go off. So it was great to see the crowd, hang around and be excited and entertained.
Well, Chris, a defeat for Glamorgan, but one of the great innings, I suppose, as well for Glamorgan and Marnus Labuschagne. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Marnus has played beautifully there, so congrats to him, but not the best way to start the campaign, but yeah, there's a lot of cricket still to go and we're just getting started, so yeah, like a lot of cricket to go.
Give us an appreciation of Marnus's innings then.
Yeah, he timed it beautifully. I think he picked off the pockets really well when he started. He had great intensity, he ran really well, and then he was set at the end, and he could expand his game and hit more boundaries and look to hit the maximum. So yeah, no, it was a really well constructed innings.
Not bad for a man who hadn't got an official T20 50 before today.
Well, he's a class act and he'll adapt to whatever type of cricket he plays in, and we just saw that again today.
What about the target of 180? Did you feel there were maybe one or too many big overs for Gloucestershire towards the end?
Yeah, a few more than we would have liked, and we could have maybe bowled a little bit better coming out the power play and a little bit better towards the death, but yeah, their batter struck it really nicely, and I think if one of us had just stuck with Marnie at the end there, we might have knocked it off.
Looking forward to Essex on Sunday. At least it'll be an afternoon game and you won't have the light problems.
Yeah, that'll be nice, although I think Marnus would have preferred to play under the dark, but yeah, Essex always is a strong team, and these games come thick and fast, so I think if you lose a game, there's always one around the corner, which is nice, so you can get back on that train.
I guess you don't really make changes to the setup of the team and the structure this early, though, do you, after just one defeat?
No, not at all. The players know they've got 3 or 4 games in the squad, and we'll just have to see and reevaluate it after that.
And try making an advantage to have this run of home games, as you say.
Yeah, that's it. And if we can get wickets like that prepared, we'll know how they play, and they're really good wickets here. I know a lot of high-scoring games last season, and it looks like it might be the same this year.
Having the crowd back in, not big numbers yet, but does it make much difference?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a huge amount of difference, and hopefully we can get more and more throughout the competition. That would be great. But even the 1,000 that was in today made a big difference.
So this is Sean Hannon, our first team captain and the main All-Stars activator. I'll just hand over to Sean.
Yeah, All-Stars is going great so far this season. Numbers have been fantastic. I think we're up to around between 25 and 30 little All-Stars. It's great to see on a Friday night up at the club, Dynamo's going on one side of the pitch, All-Stars on the other. It's just great after a lengthy period during lockdown, just to see the kids out there and enjoying themselves. So we've got a lot of players, first team players, second team players, really keen support in the All-Stars, and it's great to see everyone as a club getting involved. On the playing front, from a first team perspective, this season we've newly entered the Village Cup competition, which so far we've played 3 games and have won the Dyfed region. I think from a club point of view, it's about trying to test ourselves as individuals, as a team and a club, and with the Welsh Cup as well. It's entering different competitions. It's good.
This is Sarah Aaron, the Neyland ladies captain. She also helps out with the Dynamos programme and has recently completed a Foundation 1 ECB cricket coaching course at Neyland. I'll hand over to Sarah.
Hi, yes, I'm here in Neyland and we are very fortunate this year. We've got over 20 women and young ladies who are training with us on a Monday night. We've been playing our matches on a Tuesday as part of the Pembrokeshire Women's League, with our cup games also on a Tuesday night. Hopefully we will have 11 matches this season. We've also been fortunate enough to enter 3 local softball tournaments on a Sunday, which will hopefully allow all of our junior girls to be able to have some experience before joining the Ladies League with us next season. I've been helping out on a Friday night here with the Dynamos as well. Sometimes it's a little bit like herding cats, but all of the children that we have are super keen and super excited, and they turn up every week with a smile on their face and they go home eager to join us the following week. Thanks for listening.
This is Lee Day, a parent of Lottie who's in the Dynamos programme. I'll just hand over to Lee for some feedback.
Hello. Yes, Lottie's now in Dynamo. She's done All-Stars for the last few years. Really enjoyed it and has now moved up and is still enjoying it. Hopefully it'll be a good step on to playing cricket as she gets older. It's a great facility here at Neyland and we're very lucky to have it, and I hope a lot of children get to use it and carry on playing cricket up to the ages.
This is Paul Miller, the Club Development Officer and second team captain, and also the main man responsible for developing the Neyland Community Hub. Hand over to Paul.
So yeah, we've had great support here over the last 10 years. We've existed for 125, but 10 years ago was a bit of a low point. We weren't performing that well. Facilities were not the best around. We spent a lot of time, effort and money as a team, and it might not be bigger than the Swalec here now, but it's definitely better.
Hi, this is Ben Noden, our Dynamo's coordinator and main activator. Did All-Stars 2 years ago and also completed a level 2 coaching course this year. I'll just hand over to Ben.
Lead activator on the All-Stars and Dynamos programme here at Neyland. Been coaching here for the last 3 years now. This year we're up to almost 60 children across our Dynamos and All-Stars programmes. Seems to be a little chaotic but good fun, and so yeah, all the kids seem to be enjoying it.
it's that time again. Time for a bit of rock and roll. Huge wicket! Oh, have a look at that! That's brilliant! What a catch! And boy, did they need that!
Well, this is punishing stuff from David Malan. He keeps going and going.
Oh, excellent catch! God, what a delivery! That is an absolute beauty! That is magnificent! Got to be quick here. Oh, brilliant! Brilliant, world-class David Willey! Oh, he's gone again. He's gone again, this time straight. Running round. Oh, that's incredible. What a catch. Huge wicket. That could be the game right there. He's got him. It's 7. Unbelievable. Oh, no. Would you believe it?
It's the Notts Outlaws, 2020 champions. Brilliant performance.
Well, Chris, a defeat for Glamorgan, but one of the great innings, I suppose, as well for Glamorgan and Marnus Labuschagne. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Marnus has played beautifully there, so congrats to him, but not the best way to start the campaign, but yeah, there's a lot of cricket still to go and we're just getting started, so yeah, like a lot of cricket to go.
Give us an appreciation of Marnus's innings then.
Yeah, he timed it beautifully. I think he picked off the pockets really well when he started. He had great intensity, he ran really well, and then he was set at the end, and he could expand his game and hit more boundaries and look to hit the maximum. So yeah, no, it was a really well constructed innings.
Not bad for a man who hadn't got an official T20 50 before today.
Well, he's a class act and he'll adapt to whatever type of cricket he plays in, and we just saw that again today.
What about the target of 180? Did you feel there were maybe one or two more, too many big overs for Gloucestershire towards the end?
Yeah, a few more than we would have liked, and we could have maybe bowled a little bit better coming out the power play and a little bit better towards the death, but yeah, their batter struck it really nicely, and I think if one of us had just stuck with Marnie at the end there, we might have knocked it off.
Looking forward to Essex on Sunday. At least it'll be an afternoon game and you won't have the light problems.
Yeah, that'll be nice, although I think Marnus would have preferred to play under the dark, but yeah, Essex always is a strong team, and these games come thick and fast, so I think if you lose a game, there's always one around the corner, which is nice, and you can get back on that train.
I guess you don't really make changes to the setup of the team and the structure this early, though, do you, after just one defeat?
No, not at all. The players know they've got 3 or 4 games in the squad, and we'll just have to see and reevaluate it after that.
And try making an advantage to have this run of home games, as you say.
Yeah, that's it. And if we can get wickets like that prepared, we'll know how they play, and they're really good wickets. Yeah, I know a lot of high-scoring games last season, and it looks like it might be the same this year.
Having the crowd back in, not big numbers yet, but does it make much difference?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a huge amount of difference, and hopefully we can get more and more throughout the competition. That would be great. But even the 1,000 that was in today made a big difference.
Very good afternoon and welcome to Sophia Gardens for BBC Sport Wales coverage of Glamorgan against Essex Eagles in the second match for Glamorgan of the T20 Blast. I'm Nick Webb. I'll be working with Edward Bevan and Mike Powell, former Glamorgan and Kent batsman. The news that Glamorgan have won the toss and chosen to bowl first. They field an unchanged side from last Thursday's game against Gloucestershire, which Gloucestershire won by 4 runs. At least we think they did, because we couldn't see much of it in the dark. Edward Bevan, at least we've got a glorious sunny afternoon this time.
Yes, and what a shame that there aren't more spectators allowed to come in here. We reckon there are about 800 here, but they did make a noise last week, and they did appreciate just watching cricket again. But as you say, Nick, it's a superb afternoon, very, very hot. And I'm just wondering, it's the same pitch that they played on the other night. There must be something why Glamorgan have elected to field.
Mike Powell, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Glamorgan's setup is very dangerous. Their batting lineup, but I think they put a little bit of pressure on Essex to go in first, and not really knowing what a good score down here is against this very, very powerful Glamorgan batting lineup. That's probably what they're thinking.
There we are. It is Prem Sisodia to open the bowling for Glamorgan from the River Taff end. He'll be bowling to Tom Westley, who hit 44 in their defeat against Hampshire on Friday night. Essex come here with 1 win, 1 loss. They defeated Somerset by 3 wickets before going down by 13 runs to Hampshire. And Tom Westley is accompanied at the wicket by youngster 21-year-old Will Buttleman, playing only his second game because Adam Wheater is out injured. It'll be Buttleman, in fact, to take the first ball. And the outfielders at long on and mid-wicket, Sisodia bowls. And there's big appeal for LBW. First ball not given.
I don't think I've seen Sisodia bowl such a quick ball.
Tends to fire it in as a spinner. Glorious afternoon. Shame, as Edward says, shame about the low crowd numbers permitted, as that one's cut away. There's a misfield, could be a run out. There should be a run out. The chance is missed, as almost ended up with 2 batsmen at the striker's end. David Lloyd through to Prem Sisodia at the wicket, at the bowler's wicket, in. He couldn't take it.
Very poor backing up by Sisodia.
First run on the board for Essex, just about. Westley on strike, wearing 21. In comes Sisodia and bowls, and Westley flicks that one out to mid-wicket for a single. 2 without loss. What did you make of that mix-up, Mike?
Yeah, diving David Lloyd at the backward point, it's creating a bit of confusion of the 2 running batsmen there, and yeah, it should have been a relatively easy run out to the non-strikers down, but Sisodia, if he only just got up and got behind his stumps, probably would have been a run out.
As this one is helped away by Battleman over short fine leg, and that's run away for 4 runs with just the 2 up in the circle, and able to swing that away fairly comfortably was Will Battleman. 6 without loss.
Yeah, with only 2 obviously out to the power play, all fielders are up on the offside here, so that's why Sodia's flirting with the leg side here, angling the ball into the leg side, but that was just helped on its way over deep square.
Sisodia in again to Battleman, who gives himself room, tries to play into the offside, but finds David Lloyd at point, who fires his throw to Chris Cook. 6 without loss. Battleman 5, Westley 1. In comes Sisodia to finish this first over of the game. Tries the reverse, does Battleman, and he's got it away down to the third man boundary, and that'll race away for 4 runs. Essex 10 without loss after the first over. Slight advantage to the visitors, Mike Powell.
Yeah, with that 4 coming off the last ball, just edges Essex in front out of that first over there. Skillful, reverse sweep paddle almost. Fine of the man just on the short fine. Short third man, sorry.
Yeah, 10 without loss, good start for Essex. It should have been a run out. It was right into his hands. I don't know what he was trying to do, because he went too quickly at it, or the ball hit his wrist. But and in these games, that could mean that one of these could go on and get a big score. You've got to get those chances, and it was an easy chance. It'll be Andrew Salter, the 2 spinners starting as they did last year. sharing the attack, and he's bowling from this end. The outriders here, a deep mid-wicket and a deep long on, as Salter comes in now to Wesley, bowls. Wesley goes for a big hit. He's dropped backward point. It was a very difficult chance. He was looking to drive Salter and dropped. Was that
Van der
Houten, was it?
It looks like Douthwaite, I think that was
one of the bowlers, isn't it?
Just lob him over the top of his head there, strolling backwards.
It's a difficult chance. It was Douthwaite, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. In again comes Salter, bowls, and this is played off the back foot into the covers. There's no run. 12 without loss. And it's rather strange looking Essex side. They're giving the chances to the young players. But Wesley, of course, former England player, very experienced as he's looking to sweep down the leg sides. Not called a wide, might have just nicked the pad. So Salter starting well, Mike.
Yeah, he's just slightly mixing up his paces as he normally does. Salter, the odd ball out and off stump, and he just got away with that. Just went down leg side, and the batsman moved across, so that's why he wasn't given a wide.
Salter over the wicket, bowls to Wesley. Wesley comes down and plays a lovely shot over long off, and it's first bounce 4.
Yeah, I always think that's a better option against spinners at Cardiff. The bounce is so short, straight, with obviously only allowed 2 out of the inner circle. I think if you get enough of it, you're pretty much going to get a 4, if not a 6.
So, good. Positive start here by Essex. 16 without loss in the second over. 2 balls to go as in comes Salter. Bowls again, a flatter delivery, and fortunately there, Salter is very short. Hammered into the covers, and there is no run. Last ball of the second over. Salter just settles himself, comes in and bowls again down the pitch. Another lovely shot. Beautiful bit of fielding there by Colin Ingram at extra cover. Stopped at a certain boundary. But nevertheless, a good start. 16 without loss. Butterworth's on 9 and Wesley Mike on 7.
Yeah, some nice shots, not coming to anything, but Ingram doing his job there, sort of man on the drive in the offside there. Unfortunately for batsman Wesley, both his shots, you said, sort of 5 or 6 yards either side would definitely been 4 runs, but lucky enough for Glamorgan, straight to the fielder, so came out with just the 6 runs coming from that over. So a smart start from Andrew Salter.
Oh, so Glamorgan switching it up straight away. That's something of a change in tactics, because Sisodia usually bowls a couple.
Didn't bowl a very good over though, and as I said the other night, he's not bowling like he did last year, going on that good Midland leg line. He's trying to mix it up. Maybe it's a lack of confidence, but we'll talk about that again if he does bowl any more loose overs.
Douthwaite then will bowl to Will Buttleman. 16 without loss off 2 are the visitors, having been inserted by Glamorgan. Douthwaite bowls edged, luckily for 4 runs down. Very fine to third man. Buttleman throwing everything at that one and just got a skinny one past the keeper.
Yeah, skinny one. If it had first slip in there, it'd been right in the bread basket. But yeah, thin enough, so man down at third man, who is very fine as well. No chance of stopping that. So an unfortunate start for Douthwaite. Lucky 4 runs for Essex.
20 for naught. Douthwaite charging in towards us. Balls to Buttleman again, who goes for another drive this time, and this time it beats the outside edge.
I watched Essex the other night, Friday night. They were playing Hampshire at Chelmsford, and I don't think I saw Buttleman. He was out very cheaply for 1 or 2. Defend any ball, Mike. He was just absolutely going at every ball, as he's done this afternoon.
20 for naught, Douthwaite in to bowl, and Buttleman does go at that and gets it away over deep backward square. 1 bounce into the boundary ropes for 4 runs. Well, he's been given a license to hit, hasn't he?
Yeah, he looks inventive, doesn't he? Sort of a sweep lap slog over sort of backward square there, a couple of bounces and ran away for 4 runs. But like you said, Ed, if he a shot a ball, and he's probably playing the right format of this game then.
Quite a few youngsters in this Essex side, born in Chelmsford, just a couple of days after his debut this, as that one is played gently out on the onside, got a bit tucked up with that one.
Don't you think that's the length, Mike? Is it the back of a length at somebody like this?
Yeah, he's actually, when he played a miss, went through to cook the keeper, he's actually swung away slightly. It came through at nice pace as well, so yeah, I think there's definitely a length here where you can hit it'll be difficult to score off.
Essex making one change from Friday night. The experienced Ryan Tenderscott had a difficult match and he's left out as Douthwaite bowls, and that's over the top of the stumps as Battleman steps back and tries to flay it through the offside with all the fielders up there. So third man is one of the outfielders, square leg is the other. Only 2 allowed for the opening 6 overs of power play here on BBC Sport Online. 24 for North Essex as that's chipped over mid-wicket just about. It won't go to the boundary, I don't think. There's a chase round the boundary and slight fumble as well, but they'll stick for 2 runs, 26 without loss, and 10 runs off that over. 2 fours, one of them rather fortuitous, and a 2.
Yeah, one of those fours came away, with that skinny edge that went down through sort of first slip, second slip area. Other than that, I think it was a reasonable set from Douthwaite. As you said, Andrew, I think there is a length out there that the ball will be difficult to score off. As look at that ball there, they chipped it over mid-wicket, picked a couple of runs, but it wasn't a confident chip over mid-wicket by any stretch.
Got to change of bowling at this end. It's Rory Smith to bowl, so the spinners have been discarded already. Smith the other night 1 for 33. He's coming in now and bowls to Wesley, and Wesley plays out onto the onside. Just harking back to that run out, and this is, it's proved it already. It's 26 for no wicket. It could have been 0 for 1.
Could have been 2 down if that catch had been taken by Douthwaite. It was a very difficult one though. It's a short third.
Rory Smith back in the side, having missed the first part of the season through injury. Got a third man and a mid-wicket. He's in, bowls to Wesley. Wesley drives and it's very well fielded. It's short mid-wicket from Labuschagne. And as he was on the ground, he threw, and superb. He is not only a superb batsman, he's an excellent fielder. Good start for Smith. We're in the 4th over of 6 before the power play. 26 for no wicket. This is pulled up towards mid-on, not timed though. Fielded by Van der Gooten, and there's no run. Said the other night it was an absolute belter of a pitch and to bat on, and it is looking just as good tonight.
Yeah, it seems to be hitting just through the line and length for the moment, isn't there? So see ball, hit ball.
Yeah. Smith goes briskly back to his mark, comes in past the umpire and bowls again, and that's short, but it's well fielded. Glamorgan's ground feeling very good, as it was the other night, and they've watched Smith bowl 4 dot balls at Wesley, which brings back the acceleration that the visitors had at the start of this innings. 3 on the offside, 4 now with the mid-off third man. As Smith comes in, bowls to Wesley, short, and that's gone up in the air. This should be out. Extra cover, waiting for it, and takes it quite easily. So Wesley goes at top edge. That went quite high, but Nick Selman, there was no chance of him dropping that. Essex lose their first wicket on the score of 26, and Rory Smith, 5 deliveries, 5 dot balls and a wicket. Mike?
Yeah, it's interesting. Rather than it being a very good delivery from Rory Smith, I think it was the deliveries before that built up to that gave him the wicket. Just the pressure of dot ball, right, I've got to manufacture something from nothing. It was sort of the back of the length that possibly did need to be driven, probably back foot drive if he was a slightly different format, but he's forced the issue, and unfortunately for Wesley, top edge, straight up caught, easy catch in the cover.
Yep, he was out for 7. And the new batsman, another young player, Michael Pepper. I think he's left. Was he left-handed? Yes, no, he wasn't. Michael Pepper then in at number 3. So Glamorgan get that very important wicket of Wesley, most established member of this lineup. Just 1 ball to go, or a very good over from Rory Smith as he's coming over the wicket again. Bowls to the new batsman, Pepper, short, and that's pulled away up towards mid-wicket. It'll just be the single as it's stopped there by Carlson, who hurls in a Ball on the half volley. Well ball, Rory Smith, just a single off it, and the score now, he would swear there's about 3,000 in here, Mike. But applause, fair play, 27 for 1.
It's almost strange now to have a ripple of applause, isn't it? A shot being played, or a good over, or a wicket.
Good to hear, isn't it?
Yes, I thought those in the ticket office who have to make sure that all households are the obligatory 2 metres apart, and it doesn't sound as though those restrictions are being eased terribly soon by the Welsh government.
No, they're always a month behind, aren't they, with their safety.
Just a single off the over, and it'll be Van der Hoogten. So Glamorgan changing their bowling strategy and using 5 different bowlers to bowl their first 5 overs, as Van der Hoogten's in to bowl, and that's driven into the offside by Battleman and fielded by Salter, no run. It's hectic for the bowlers, have to try and find line and length straight away. 27 for 1.
There were 6 bowlers the other night. Labuschagne was the other bowler.
They've got Lloyd and Ingram available as well. Plenty of bowling options. Van der Hoogten bowls, and that's off the thick outside edge down to third man. They'll turn and have a look at a second, and they will come back for a second as the throw comes in. It evades Chris Cook, but it also evades the stumps, and it's 2 to Battleman, 29 for 1.
Yeah, he's off to go, is Battleman, young Battleman. Second game only in this competition.
Hastened on to 22, not out.
Also keeps wicket.
Also keeps wicket, so he'll be a busy boy. As that's
shot
helped over wide, long on, just a couple of bounces, and it's over the ropes for 4 runs, and that's a nice pick-up for a confident young man, Mike.
Yeah, clever shot there from Van der Hoogten going wide of the wicket, angling the ball in. He actually went across his wicket so well, forcing that ball so in theory onto leg stump, and he just picked that up over into the vacant area over in mid-wicket. Very, very clever shot.
Who'd be a bowler in these opening overs, eh? 5th over, halfway through. Van der Hoogten bowls, and there's no run this time as Battleman plays it to Salman at mid-wicket.
I think it also shows
Labuschagne at mid-wicket.
Shows Mike that what a good pitch this is.
Looks at for a wicket to batter on
the other night, yeah. Oh.
Coming through, good height, good length, good pace. Not much there for the spinners. Very good 2020 wicket.
Yeah, it's a point that was made in post-match interviews. Looks as though they might be high-scoring wickets again in T20 this year. 33 for 1 Essex. Van der Hoogten bowls, and another one nudged away by Battleman for 4 runs, beating third man on the inside as Douthwaite could do nothing about that one. 37 for 1. Was that deliberately played, Mike?
Yeah, clever shot. He opened the blade of his bat there and ran that ball down. Perfect shot. Bounced well before where the keeper off. Even the slips would have been standing and run away. Very, very clever shot.
37 for 1. Last ball of the 5th over. Van der Hoogten to Will Battleman. And the yellow shirts, yellow and red of Essex, that's slapped out into the covers. There's a brilliant piece of fielding from Andrew Salter that makes it a dot ball to end the over. 10 off nonetheless, and Essex 37 for 1 after 5.
Yeah, I'd be slightly worried here with Essex. They are playing some nice shots, the odd boundary coming here and there, but what is happening, they're actually finding a lot of Glamorgan fielders. A lot of their very good shots are going straight to fielders, and they don't seem to be rotating strike as much as they'd probably like to.
37 for 1, Battleman 30 of those runs, and Pepper yet to score. He's taking guard now from umpire Shaughnessy. Steve Shaughnessy, former Lancashire player, and the umpire David Milnes, the former Notts and Derby, I think he was. Not sure, was he Notts and Derby? Anyway, Rory Smith, he had a good first over, comes in and bowls to Pepper. Pepper cuts and will get 4 runs. Just short anything that's offline, Mike. It's 4 runs.
Agree. Slightly wide, wasn't it? Slightly too short, and what? It's flown away through backward point. Not giving Lloyd a chance here at backward point.
Umpire Milnes, since you ask, Edward, Notts and Leicestershire.
Yes,
yeah.
Tasmania and Bowland.
And a former minor. David Milnes. Rory Smith from this end, in past the umpire, bowls to Pepper. Pepper plays a lovely shot again, but straight at the bowler, who has a shy at the wickets. And Salman just having a look at it, and Battleman just backing up a little bit too quickly. As I said, very good ground fielding by Glamorgan this afternoon, except for that drop catch and that horrendous miss at a run out. When he here is Smith in, bowls again. Pepper gets a good length ball, just plays it away on the onside. Carlson in very, very quickly, and there's no run.
I think that's the first and last forward defensive we're going to see.
Yes. We'll see Battleman playing it. 41 for 1, and we're in the last over of the power play, and they'll be quite happy with this. They perhaps would like, say, another 8 or 9 from this over, but Smith has bowled extremely well halfway through his second over, and he's coming in now again, and bowls to Pepper. Well, length ball, just got it on the Yorker length.
Yeah.
Well bowled, Smith, appreciated by this crowd, who are absolutely thrilled I'm back after a miserable couple of little season and a half without watching live cricket. Two young batsmen at the crease, and it's Pepper facing. He was off the mark with that boundary. 2 balls of the over left as in comes Smith. Bowls again, and that's 4 runs off the. Very unlucky there for Smith, because he went to hook and the ball hit the top of the outside edge past the wicket-keeper, who's going the other way, but nevertheless the shots you play.
Looks like he's just picked it up there, just flicked the back of his backward leg there and flicked off a 4-leg bice. Yeah, it looked like he edged it.
Nick was saying, no, it's leggers they were, so it caught the top of the pad, so unlucky. Never mind. Say Essex, we've moved on to 45 for 1. I think that's about par for this pitch. It might be just a little under. Pepper waits, in comes Smith and bowls, and that's a splendid shot, my word. He just gave himself, used his arms and leathered that out to deep extra cover. It's sanitation time, and it's 49 for 1. Good start in those 6 overs, Mike Powell.
Good start. I think Essex will be reasonably happy. I agree with you, Ed. I think it's possibly par, if not slightly below, just based on how many balls have actually been hit straight up field. There's very few 2s and 1s have been run in this innings so far. Glamorgan being very smart with their bowlers, recognise it is a very good wicket. The bowlers are mixing up their paces and lengths with the seamers, and they're rotating their bowlers 1 or 2 overs maximum so far for their bowlers, just so the batsmen don't settle.
It's another over for Prem Sisodia, whose opening over went for 10. I think that's the first time for a while he hasn't bowled a couple in the power play. He will come in from the River Taff end and bowl to Battleman on 30 not out, as that's outside the off stump, and just a single played out into the covers. 50 up for the visitors in their yellow shirts, bright yellow shirts with red sleeves and dark trousers. Glamorgan in the very dark navy blue with yellow trim, as Pepper settles. 50 for 1 in the 7th. Sisodia bowls, drags it down, and just flat batted up to long on for a single by the number 3 batsman. 51 for 1. Be an update for BBC Radio Wales listeners in about 10 minutes time, as the reverse sweep comes out from Battleman, but he's hit the man on the point boundary, and it's another single. 52 for 1. Always confuses me with the fielding positions when the batsman's going into reverse. You have to think, where'd that one start off? Sisodia to Pepper, and he tries the reverse, but it's straight to Van der Hoogten, and well, that was good running. Battleman home. Chris Cook didn't even bother to take off the bails. They
thought he might have attacked that a bit better.
Man. 53 for 1. Singles only in this over so far. Sisodia in, bowls down leg side. That'll be called a wide, as Battleman missed out with his sweep shot. No doubt about the wide, though. Anything is called down leg side. As the next delivery from Sisodia is outside off stump, played through the covers. Bit of a chase, sliding stop on or towards the cover boundary. Just the single taken. 55 for 1. 6 off. Last ball of the over. Can Sisodia get out of the over successfully? And he comes to bowl, and Pepper works it away on the leg side. Didn't get a clean bat on it, and they'll go through for a single. So 6 singles in the wide. The throw is a little elusive for Chris Cook, but doesn't do any damage for Glamorgan. 56 for 1 after 7 are the visitors from Essex.
A little bit of a better over there from Sisodia, but he can be thankful that his Mike, that this Glamorgan fielding is up to scratch, and some fiercely struck balls in that over went straight and were cut off by the fielders. Just as Sisodia came back the other end, so Andrew Salter is coming back at this Cathedral Road end. We're looking over the batsman's shoulder as he's backing up. In comes the first ball, and that's cut away.
Oy.
This time there is a misfield, having loaded the Glamorgan, and that might have stung a bit. That was down there. It's David Lloyd.
Misfield from Lloyd there. Yeah, he got it on the end of his finger there, where he's holding his hand and shaking it.
You don't want him to be hurt.
Yeah, you fancy batting on this wicket, that's for sure.
Yeah, go off, David. If it's hurt. Andrew Salter in his second over, and this glorious afternoon in Cardiff. Keeper standing up, of course, comes in, bowls, tosses this one up, and it's driven. Orthodox drive by Battleman up to long on. And there's no run. I'm just comparing Gloucestershire after 10 overs were 74 for 3. And it'll be quite similar again, if not exactly the same. David Lloyd is not in great nick over there. Umpire asking him how it is. In comes Salter, bowls again. Here's the reverse sweep. It doesn't connect this time. It's taken outside the off stump by the wicket keeper. That's all he wants now, Mike, is another fierce drive.
Yes.
What did he do? Stop it with his boot.
Well, he had a broken or dislocated finger the other evening, didn't we?
That's
Didn't
right.
see Smith playing after popping his little finger the other night.
Slight change in field for David Lloyd. He's moved from point to cover there.
Oh, he might get one there too, the way this pitch is playing. Anyhow, it's not a bad over, this. Halfway through it, halfway through the 8th, as in comes Salter, bowls, and that's cut. Well, would you believe it? It went straight at David Lloyd, and he rather feigned a little, I think, there, Mike. He must, why do you put him backward point or somewhere? Or go off the field, because...
Is there any hiding place, though?
I think he's showing the... I think it's Ingram he's talking to there. He's pointing to his thumb. So I think he's popped to go on the end of his thumb. But I think as cricketers, as batsmen, especially if you're slip fields, where you're always nursing bruised hands and joints throughout the season.
I think he's going off the field. Or is he just going to have a spot? The physio's on.
Imagine the physio's coming. Probably just tape his finger up there. Give it a little bit more protection.
No, he's... anybody replaced him? Yeah, there's somebody come on. Don't know who the designated 12th man is. In comes Salter, tosses this one up, and that's a big hit. That's going to be 6 runs over Cow Corner. And Pepper now is opening his shoulders. Andrew Salter having a bit of tap in these first 2 games. In his first game against Gloucestershire, he was 1 for 28 off 3. Glamorgan won't panic at this, because it's about par. As Salter, right arm over, comes in to Pepper, tosses this one up, and it's stopped by the fielder, bowler rather, get there in the end. End of the over, 68 for 1, Essex. They've lost Wesley, caught Selman, bowled Smith for 9. They were put into bat by Glamorgan, and we're 1 over away from the halfway stage. Mike Powell.
Yeah, I feel Glamorgan very much in this game here. If anything, they're slightly on top.
Yeah.
It seems the odd boundaries coming in for Essex, but they're certainly not dominating precision so far. So, yeah, if I was a Glamorgan supporter watching this, I'd be quite happy.
Sophia is going to have another over. Is this the first time that Glamorgan haven't changed the bowling? I believe it is. From the River Taff end, runs towards us and bowls a big swing and a miss from Buttleman as it goes through to Chris Cook.
Very close.
That's how he plays, as they say.
34 to Buttleman, 22 to Pepper, 68 for 1. Just started the 9th. Glamorgan need a wicket or two fairly shortly, as that one's hit away on the offside by Buttleman, and it's they'll take a single. 69 for 1. Buttleman 35 not out. Pepper on strike. 2 young local players for Essex, which is always good to see, and he's played that straight as Pepper to the subfield to Callum Taylor at backward point, which is good to see from the Glamorgan point of view. Blue booted Callum Taylor, and got a nice pair of shades on. It's a day for shades. Sophia bowls and Pepper drives up towards long off. They might look for 2 here because the fielder's got a long way to make, but he's done it well, and they've kept down to a single. 70 for 1. Buttleman 35, Pepper 23. Sophia in to bowl. A little lap shot from Buttleman, just be a single as it's played wide of Douthwaite at short fine leg. 71 for 1. Sophia rattling through this over, trying to keep the pressure on the batsman as he bowls, and that's hammered straight back, and it's taken out the centre stump at the non-striker's end. Well, it was hit so hard, that one, it may well have gone for 4 between long on and long off, but as it is, it's a dot ball. 71 for 1, just 3 runs, best over so far on the board for Glamorgan, Mike.
Yeah, it's a big over for Glamorgan, that. I just feel on this wicket and this outfield, you know, these overhead conditions, it's just a perfect day for batting. I think if you're just going for singles, you're winning the game. And overs like that, Glamorgan, if 3 or 4 of them during this innings, they will win this game.
And I watched Jimmy Neeson, the New Zealand all-rounder, play the other night, and he got 40 or 50 in no time in 25 balls to beat Somerset. And what do you think? If you can keep him away, and these 2, although they're playing well, they're not really setting the world alight. As Nick will be giving you an update in just a moment, then I'll break off as Salter comes in and bowls, and that's his head in the air. This could be out. The deep mid-wicket. Yes, it's held. A few inches away from the floor, and Buttleman goes a danger man. He made 36 for a young man. He played extremely well, but sweep in at a well-flighted ball by Salter. He is caught on the mid-wicket boundary, and was that Nick Selman again. Well judged catch, Nick.
Yeah, comfortable catch there for Nick in the deep. Just getting the top edge of the sweep, trying to move it round the corner. Neither one shot the other. Now the sweep slogging or hitting it hard into the floor. He's just sort of eased it round the corner, and unfortunately for the Essex and Buttleman, getting the top edge and a comfortable catch, so dive in, ball and coming forward.
So another young player coming in, Paul Walter. As you say, it's so good to see them grooming these young players, as Somerset too, of course. And let's hope that this pathway with Glamorgan will eventually produce some Welsh-born players. Not many been in the last couple of years. Paul Walter then, but I'll just break off, Nick, and he's about to speak to the nation.
As Salter bowls, and that's played up towards long on by Pepper. They'll turn and look for a second. The throw comes in from Carson. They'll have to hurry their back for a second run. Pepper moves on to 25 not out, and the total to 73 for 2 in this 10th over. As Essex are 73 for 2 in the 10th over after being put into bat by Glamorgan. A rapid start by the youngster Will Buttleman. He's just been caught at deep square leg off Andrew Salter for 36. Tom Westley was out, caught off Rory Smith for 7. Nick Selman with both catches. This around about a par score, we reckon, on a good batting wicket after Glamorgan chose to bowl first. We're in the 10th over here at Sophia Gardens, and Essex are 74 for 2.
Better over this from Andrew Salter. Walter waits, left-handed. You won't mind that, Salter, as they go through a quick single, and he just chipped it away to the backward of square, and they go through for a single. You get that score after 10, Nick?
There we are. We're in the 10th, aren't we?
10.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I thought it had passed us by. There's another single driven up to deep extra cover, and in comes the return. A bit worrying that David Lloyd is still off the field.
Yeah, you do wonder whether he's going to be fit to open the batting for Glamorgan. He didn't get back on.
In comes the next delivery. Yes, very short, and this could bisect the fielders, will it? Yes, it will. 4 runs, very poor. Well, sort of throws his hands up in the air, puts hands on hips, the teapot, looking at the fielder. I'm very sorry, but I think this is a poor ball, Michael Powell.
Yeah, you've got to be a pretty good fielder to start questioning other people's fielding, and Salter's probably not in that position at a point in time in his career. People make mistakes, people drop catches. You can pull together as a team rather than point the finger at your teammates.
So the wickets have fallen at 26, and a good partnership of 45 between Butterman and Pepper, and Marnus Labuschagne, the people's favourite, is coming on the bowl at the far end with his leg spin and the occasional googly, and the ball that Nick Webb loves is his bouncer.
The occasional bouncer, yes. I'm not sure whether we'll see that in T20 cricket. I'm sure there's a sign. As here comes Labuschagne to bowl, and that's, I think, hit the bottom edge of Pepper's bat, and it's dribbled past Chris Cook and gone through for a single. 81 for 2. Our Essex, as Glamorgan go for spin in the middle of the innings rather than too much up front. We had 2 overs of spin followed by 4 of seam in the power play. Labuschagne sorting his field out, spinning the ball to himself. Now he comes in to bowl to Tall Paul, Walter the left-hander, and he's just noodled that one down to backward square for a single.
I very much doubt if these 2 young players have played against Labuschagne before. In fact, I'm certain they haven't.
Pepper on strike, the right-hander of them. Here comes Labuschagne, here comes the reverse sweep, and there's nearly a misunderstanding between the batsmen. Douthwaite got his throw in quickly. It was reverse swept to short third man, and it's a dot ball. There's an inquiry of some sort from Labuschagne, whether he thought it was pad before bat, but it felt like bat first from here, as that slogged up towards long on, and well stopped just inside the boundary, and Pepper will get a single. 83 for 2. It's always something of a novelty factor, I guess, with Labuschagne bowling. It's the lanky lefty Walter on the strike.
Caught me wicket.
Labuschagne bowls, and it's played gently up to long off. Single taken again. 84 for 2. By the time they've worked out what Labuschagne's doing, then he'll be off again, and may reappear again, I suppose. Glamorgan have chopped and changed so much, as that's down leg side. There's a appeal for a catch at the wicket, and it's given as Pepper strangled down leg side, went for a big pull Chris Cook was up straight away, thought it had obviously hit something on the way through, and Essex have lost a third wicket here on BBC Sport Online. It's 84 for 3 after 11 overs.
Smart bit of work from Cook down the leg side there, probably grazing the glove on the way through. It was like a sweep slog he was attempting, but rushing as he does, he bowls quite quick, Labuschagne, and picking up the ball. Again, I don't think it was the delivery that got him. I think it was the chance of, there was a couple of dots in there was a couple of singles in there, they haven't hit the boundary, or they consider a part-time spinner, and I think they were just searching for that boundary. The prod wasn't quite there. But again, another wicket for Glamorgan, still in control of this game.
And now comes somebody who Glamorgan will want to try and get out rather quickly. It's Jimmy Neesham, who's played 2, I think the adjective should be violent innings. I've watched them play this week, and
28 and 53 his scores.
And he played down in Kent. Remember, Nick, we were down a couple of years ago, and he couldn't hit the ball off the square.
Well, he's taken his side to the brink of a World Cup, hasn't he? And 50 over cricket. As a prominent member of that New Zealand side that just lost in 2019 to England.
Incidentally, 49 runs came in the first 6, and then just 13 the next 4, so it's quite consistent. And Pepper now is, I think we've got 2 left-handers here. It's Pepper now to face Andrew Salter. The ball going away from the bat, bowls to him, and it's a good delivery which keeps going straight on with the arm, and is just tucked away on the onside for a single. 85 for 3. Glamorgan just keep it in control at the moment. What they don't want to do is to leave what they did with Gloucestershire, where they scored 66 in the last 5. That hurt Glamorgan, and eventually it cost them the game. Neesham then, medium pace bowler and left-hand batsman, has a look around the ground as Andrew Salter comes around the wicket and bowls the first ball to Neesham. Neesham pushes it away in the little gap there between extra cover and backward point. He got through for a single, and Neesham is off the mark. So Salter will bowl out, and Sisodia will bowl out, and then it'll be up to Labuschagne and the other seamers towards the end as Salter bowls short. Appeal for LBW. Sorry, he's bowled him. He was looking to play that away through the onside. It skidded through, hit the off pole, and another wicket, Michael Powell.
Yeah, he's smart bowler with his paces, Andrew Salter. He's tossed the odd one up and just slipped down through a little bit quicker. Batsman thinking it was a bit shorter than what it was, but actually was skidding. He's probably a good length ball in the end. They're trying to hoy that to cow corner on the leg side, but unfortunately missing the ball, and Salter picking up a wicket.
I would say now, Mike, that Glamorgan just about on top.
Yes, a nice little period for Glamorgan here, but quite quiet couple of overs. There hasn't been a flurry of boundaries from Essex for quite some time, so they probably see this as it sees their chance to possibly go a long way to winning this game to this next 3 or 4 overs.
Young local lad, Feroz Kushi, a new name for most of us in the commentary box. 21-year-old, wearing 23, right hand back, can bowl a bit of off spin. But a lot of pressure on Neesham now, Edward.
Certainly, and they'll miss this. The other overseas player who, for personal reasons, had to return home last week, Peter Siddle. There's no mean cricketer, very, very good bowler and useful batsman, around 7 or 8, so he's missing, and a lot of new names to us here. And Salter will be cock-a-hoop now as he prepares to bowl. 2 new batsmen here. Kushi waits as Salter comes up and tosses this one up, and it's played right confidently out towards deep mid-wicket. They'll get a single and they'll be content with that. They have to rebuild now to Essex.
Yeah, it's interesting this stage of the game. When you're slightly behind with the bat, do you just rebuild, or do you go the other way and go really aggressive?
What do you think? I think rebuild, wouldn't you?
I think on this wicket I'd probably go the other way if I was out there, because it's such a good wicket. I'd just go super aggressive and put yourself in a chance to win it, rather than get a score that might get you a chance to win it.
Then comes Salter, bowls to Neesham. Neesham gets a good length ball.
4D, that's our second forward defensive of the day.
This is my sort of game.
Stick the weights on, boys.
Yeah, get a slip in the gully in. Andrew Salter comes up, penultimate ball, bowls, and this is tucked away for a single on the onside. It'll be fielded by Ingram. And
2 for 31.
that is a good over for him. 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 31, and a good comeback there, Mike.
Yeah, he dragged it back in the last over, didn't he? I think he went for 27 off his first 3, and ended up with 2 for 31. Very, very good last over from Andrew Salter.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
And Essex losing wickets in the 10th, 11th and 12th, which always affects the run rate as well. Oh, we're going to see a bit more of Marnus Labuschagne. Thought they might just slip him in for the odd over of bamboozlement, but he's got new batsmen to bowl at.
Yeah, exactly. It's 2 new batsmen bowling in all sorts of different varieties. so who knows what's going to come out? And definitely worth the gamble.
Especially young Koshi, he wouldn't have faced him before.
Jimmy Neesham, the left-handed 30-year-old Aucklander, has made over 100 international appearances across the 3 formats.
Yep.
As Labuschagne bowls to him, flighted delivery driven straight to short extra, no run.
We've said that a few times today, haven't we? Driven straight to, hit straight to. They've missed out on a lot of runs today, Essex.
Chris Cook will be pleased with his field placing, as that's on leg stump. Oh, he's got away with what would have been a wide, but I think it's hit the batsman's pad on the way through, as Neesham got in a bit of a muddle there. Should have just let it pass by as Labuschagne bowls, and that's cut to short third man, dot ball. Glamorgan building the pressure nicely, 88 for 4.
I think he might be having a dart here before long, Neesham.
Watch out mid-wicket and long on maybe, as that's driven straight back to Labuschagne, who fields in his follow-through. 4 dot balls in a row from Marnus Labuschagne, like absolute gold dust at this stage of the game, as he really tosses that one up, and they will get a couple of runs, because Douthwaite just got a hand to it as he dived at short third man, so they'll come back for the second.
Terrific over.
Sisodia, hairband, hair flopping, left long at the top, shaved at the sides, in the manner of anyone under 25 these days. Labuschagne bowls, that will be a wide down leg side. Can he finish this over off properly from the Welsh point of view? 90 for 3. In comes Labuschagne from the River Taff end, bowls, and Neesham pokes suspiciously at that, so just 2 off the bat plus a wide. 91 for 3 and 2 very economical overs, and Neesham's looking rather unconfident for a player of his experience.
Yeah, it's very strange on a wicket that is so good that we've seen so far, why you would be nudging and prodding around in what we've got. How many overs to go here? Just 7 overs remaining in their innings, with a part-time, it was wrong, very good cricketer, but a part-time bowler. I thought with the short boundaries that are available here today, straight, you'd be definitely trying to give yourself a chance to get up to something that should be round about par on this wicket.
Van der Guten's coming back after bowling a couple of overs at the other end, and David Lloyd is yet to come back on the field. I'm lost with, can he come back, will he? It was on the field of play, perhaps Mike can tell us, so presumably if he wanted to open he could.
Yeah, I think it's a case he hasn't come in obviously with that injury, he's been hit and struck, but yeah, if he needs to be treated, he needs to be treated, and he comes back on, he needs to come on.
So he could, even if he's off for the rest of the innings, he could open it.
I believe so.
Because and it's on the field of play, as you say, he took the injury. He didn't come on injured. Van der Guten then, to come up to bowl to Koshi. Here he is, bowls his first ball to the right-hander, and he plays it just in front of him, didn't quite where that had gone.
Isn't that interesting there, Edward? He's back for a defensive shot. Yeah, it's dropped by his feet slightly behind him. You would definitely come through for a single if you were switched on and keen to start running, start scoring, but both batsmen just look to each other attentive, and all of a sudden that opportunity is gone to get that single.
Probably only just met each other.
I just going to say exactly the same thing. I'm Jimmy Neesham.
He's a young player worried about running out a very good player.
This is debut, you know these things, Koshi. Anyway, he waits now as Van der Guten comes over the wicket and bowls to him short, pulled away, straight to mid-wicket, well fielded there. And he was a little bit fortunate there, was Van der Guten. It was a very short delivery, pulled out to mid-wicket, but well fielded by Andrew Salter. Neesham is going to have a word after 2 dot balls. And he's going to say,
I'd have a word back. I'd say, get on with it yourself.
yeah, you're the shop player, mate. This is one of my first games. Mid-wicket goes back to the boundary, and mid-on has come up into the ring. 2 back, and there's a fine leg. In comes Tim van der Gooten and bowls to Shushi short, and he's pulled it, did not timed it with any conviction, and they'll get a couple. As had Salter not been sent back to the mid-wicket boundary, there wouldn't have been a run, because it went straight to that position. But he gets 2 runs. He moves on to 3. 93 for 4. We're in the 14th over.
Second game since you asked, Edward. He made one appearance at the back end of last season when he didn't trouble the scorers. He's played 4 championship games.
He's on 3 now. In comes Van der Gooten. Short of a length. Beautiful ball. Comes back in off the seam, in off the pitch rather. And he was a little bit nonplussed now. And I can see that Neesham is anxious. It's just a 4. Yeah, 4 balls gone from this over. And he would want to strike as a senior batsman, Mike.
I agree, Ed. And that opportunity was there, wasn't it? First ball of the over. Get the best player on strike. Get him face as many balls as you possibly can.
3 men, 2 in the covers, 1 a mid off. Walk in very quickly as in comes Van der Gooten. Wide of the crease, it's driven, and they go through for a single. There's a dive there by the 12th man. But there's only 1 ball left of the over at 94 for 4. So the permutation of the last 6 overs will be interesting. Sophia got 1 left.
Yes.
Yeah, whether they'll.
Yes, he has. Yeah, he's got the 20 so far.
Might as well probably bowl him because they know that they're behind at the moment. There's Tim van der Gooten. Comes around the wicket to left-handed Neesham, bowls him, and he's hit that straight. He's going to get 4 runs. And having said that, he's going to be, it's going to be hauled in. Thought sure that would probably go. Colin Ingram has pulled it in, and they'll only get 2. And so she'll be on strike. Not a bad over that. And the score has moved on to 96 for 4. Neesham, very quiet start for him. He's on 6. Partner Shushi is on 4 on this beautiful afternoon here in Cardiff. Everybody short sleeves and t-shirts and shorts. Ladies in their summer dresses and relaxing and enjoying the cricket as we are, Michael Powell.
Very nice day for us. And it's a shame, as you said earlier at the top of the show there's a beautiful day to watch a bit of cricket, some very good plays out there today, and a shame we only can allow 1,000 people into the ground at one time.
Yeah, I'll be gradually going up for the matches against Kent and Middlesex on Wednesday and Friday. So
I don't know about that, Nick, according to the ticket manager.
Gradually going up, I said. Gradually going up.
He wasn't.
Watch out for the start times as well, as Labuschagne will continue and gets Cushy a bit tucked up and manages to play it down to backward square for a single.
Now then, I think this might be an interesting contest, don't you?
Just gone for the 8 runs so far, Labuschagne, for his 2.1 over, so it's a brilliant spell from him so far.
Essex really slowed down after galloping to 68 off 8. As Labuschagne bowls and Neesham goes big towards long on, and he's cleared the fielder. It's gone rocketing into the sight screen at that far end. First 6 of the innings, isn't it?
It's interesting. That's why I say with such a short boundary straight at Cardiff as there always is. Against spinners on such a good wicket like this, my first and second option would be hit him over the top 4, 6 or 4.
103 for 4, century up for the visitors, but we are in the 15th over.
They needed that.
Need to get going.
If Glamorgan can keep them to 150-ish, they'll probably be delighted, you would think. As Labuschagne in again to Neesham, who steps back and hammers it through the offside, will get a single. Will come back for a second as the throw comes in, but it's not hugely on target from Kieran Carlson. Fell well short of Chris Cook. He had to make ground towards it, so they come back for the second run, and Neesham's run about 10 metres past the wicket in eagerness to make sure. 105 for 4. Neesham has 14. Slowish start from him, but still a danger player. Labuschagne in to bowl to Neesham, who hits this one up towards long on, and they've just jogged the first one quite slowly there, which I find it difficult to understand. They could have put a little bit of pressure on Rory Smith. Single taken. Neesham to 15, 106 for 4 here on BBC Sport Online. Labuschagne to Feroz Kushi, who's played it back to the bowler, and Labuschagne on the floor tries to hurl it back towards Cook. Didn't quite come out properly, just in case the young man was straying down the wicket. But it's Labuschagne for you. He likes a throw at the wicket no matter what the circumstances. Last ball then of his third over. 6 has spoilt this one slightly, and Kushi looks to nurdle that one down to third man, misses through to Cook. It's a dot ball. 106 for 4 after 15 are the visitors. Essex, Mike Powell, former Glamorgan and Kent batsman.
Yeah, Labuschagne just gone for the 17 runs from his 3 overs there, backed up quite nicely. Van der Guten just 15 from his 2. I think we're looking at a change of bowling again.
Yeah, Sodia's got 1 left. Salter's bowled out. Douthwaite's got 3 left. Smith has got 2. Van der Guten's got 2, and Labuschagne has got another 1 left. So
there's plenty of options there.
I was just thinking, yeah, I think I'd give Labuschagne 1 more, even though they'll have to go on the attack, because that's perhaps your best chance of getting a wicket.
I agree. It was just that 1 boundary coming from his what 3 overs so far. Definitely worth. I would definitely bowl him out.
But it's Prem Sisodia now, bowling his last over. He's left arm round the wicket, comes in and bowls outside the off stump and hammered out to deep extra cover, and the return comes from Salter. Do you think, Mike, that they could bring 1 or 2 in on the onside, because Sushi's not giving it a crack, is he?
Yeah, I see you saying there, but they just dig in their own hole, and they're picking up singles from here on in. I'd be quite happy as a Glamorgan captain. They're looking for boundaries, aren't they?
Yes, Sisodia then running away from us in bowls, and that's hit up towards long on. That's 6 runs.
Good shot.
As me saying, coming in and crowd him, it was a good shot. It was to float it up, an inviting left arm slow delivery, and Ingram again goes to have a word as Sisodia.
Usually operates from the River Taff end, if I remember. Yeah, so quite rarely bowls from this side.
No, I think he's better employed, don't you, to try and fire it in like stump rather than it up.
Definitely try and cramp the batsman for space.
So they're starting to develop a partnership now as Sisodia in, and that's a full toss, and that's going to be is it going to be 4? No, it's well fielded, out of my sight there.
Ingram
just a single magnificent piece of fielding there by Colin Ingram. Saved 3 runs. Neesham up to the other end now. Halfway through this final over from Sisodia. He has not taken a wicket in the 2 games so far, and he's coming in now and bowls, and this is driven again up there, and in comes Carlson, and in comes the return, and that's a great bit of fielding by Carlson, picked up and threw in.
He's one of the best fielders in this Glamorgan set. He's excellent across, covers the ground so quickly, gets the ball in and out of his hand so fast.
2 balls left of Sisodia's last, 115 for Essex, and there will be 4 overs left after this one. And in comes Sisodia for his last ball, and bowls to Sushi. Sushi drives powerfully up towards long on, probably only... it's gone through Smith's legs for 4.
Shame.
Poor bit of feeling there by Smith. I watched him, he's right in front of us, he picked his head up as he went down.
Little bit of pressure applied by the batsman, running so fast that it's the first time the batsman's just starting to get into 2nd or 3rd gear at the moment, trying to move things along, get themselves up to a score that's respectable. 119 for 4 at the moment.
Last ball, and in comes the next ball, and this is short, and this is pulled away. There'll be a cheer here because Smith will stop it. Yes, here. End of the over, and Sisodia there has finished his overs, and rather expensive. He went the other night for 33 off his 3.
34 tonight.
34 off 4.
34 off 4.
Not disastrous.
No.
Chipped in with wickets more regularly last season, but I don't think Glamorgan are likely to change their lineup after a couple of games. They'll probably field the same 11 for tomorrow night, I would imagine, against Surrey, unless the wheels fall off badly in the batting stakes.
I can't see the wheels falling off badly in this batting lineup. I'm sure Colin Ingram can't wait to strap the pads on and get out there on this wicket.
Oof. I wish you hadn't said that, Tony. You only got one,
Mike Powell.
You only got one the other night and looked a bit, what's the word? Not quite with it. Anyway, sorry, Mike. Sorry. Yeah.
Van der Hoogten into bowl, and Cushy is caught behind, fencing at that one, trying to run it down. He's gone. Second catch for Chris Cook, and a first wicket of the afternoon for Tim van der Hoogten. Not a bad performance from Feroz Cushy. He's gone for 17. It's 120 for 5.
Yeah, a little bit of extra bounce there from Van der Hoogten, just slightly back of a length. Cushy was just trying to push it through. The cover's really off the back foot, and unfortunately for him, got an edge to keep Cook behind.
Easy one then for Chris Cook to snaffle.
In control at the moment, aren't they, Nick? Glamorgan.
They are at the moment, but these games can change so quickly, can't they? A flurry of runs. Even 160 might be defendable, or are you not thinking that would be?
14-3 and a bit.
I mean, you saw this wicket the other night, but it looks a belter to me.
Yeah.
Cushy finished with 17 off 14 deliveries, and he's replaced by an experienced man, Simon Harmer. 5 tests for South Africa.
Wonderful spin ball.
Oh, hasn't he been a good signing for the club?
Not a bad batsman either.
He's in at 7. The batting to come: Plum, Nijar, Sam Cook and Porter. As Van der Hoogten into the Essex Eagles captain. In he comes, and that's played away on the offside. Callum Taylor with a tumbling stop at point, but they're unable to prevent the single being taken. Just a steer and run wide of the fielder, as Callum Taylor, having been at point for the right-hander, now dashes off to long off for the left-hander. Well, he's a decent fielder, is Callum Taylor. He's on the field as 12th man for David Lloyd, who has a hand injury of some nature. Neesham comes down the wicket to disturb a worm or two.
And this is when Gloucestershire were really motoring the other night in the 17th over. To date, Glamorgan have held this batting lineup in their grasp.
Yep, 2 experienced guys at the wicket though. Van der Hoogten into Neesham, who clips it to mid-wicket, and they just amble through for the single. 122 for 5. 17th over out of the 20. Here on a picture-perfect day at Sophia Gardens, barely a cloud in the sky, temperatures in the mid-20s Celsius, and Glamorgan in a reasonable position at the moment as Essex look to accelerate in these remaining 21 deliveries. Can Glamorgan contain them? Van der Hoogten into Harmer, who'll get just the single, down to Sisodia at fine leg. As everyone swaps around, running miles between right and left-hander. Thankfully, Callum Taylor is not called on to make the return journey.
Well, it's better than going long on to long on, isn't it?
It's a miracle they all remember where they're meant to be. 123 for 5. Van der Hoogten. Balls pulled by Neesham, but gently, relatively gently, along the floor to deep square, Smithfields. 1 run.
Mike, they've got to go for it to the next 3 overs, because don't you think they should have started with 5 left? Like,
I think they
Neesham,
should.
What's he got?
They should start going for it 3 or 4 overs ago.
19 off 17 at the moment, Neesham.
Oh, as I said earlier, you're picking up singles at the moment. Glamorgan are winning with that.
Right-handed Harmer is on strike. No one saving the single in front of the bat on the leg side, so Harmer's cut it down to 3rd man anyway. Dowthwaite with the fielding. Single taken. End of over number 17. 125 for 5. Just 5 off that from TVDG, the Flying Dutchman.
They'll be looking, Mike, surely for 11s and 12s off them the next 3. They have to, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Try to look here. Lights him away. We've got 2 overs to go, is it?
3 overs to go.
3 overs to go, absolutely. We change the bowling here. Douthwaite will come out from the Cathedral Road end. Another change of bowling. Probably pre-planned this, Douthwaite coming on. Looking at...
Smith has got 2 in hand.
Smith, so probably he got 1 at the other end, and Douthwaite will end up with his 2 this end. I'd imagine he's got 3 actually. They come, so...
Yeah, Smith 2 overs, 1 for 9, and bowled, well, just the 1 boundary off him, so I think it'll have to be Smith and Douthwaite.
That's a bit odd, isn't it? If Smith's the best bowler in this game,
that
he will bowl out.
Very strange. I think Labuschagne messed things up. Bowled too well. Too well.
Yeah. Here we go then, and 3 overs left. Harmer is on 3. He's facing Douthwaite, who comes up for his first ball and bowls to him, and it's wide of the off stump, and Carlson is going to cut that off, is he? Yes, no he doesn't. It was just a little bit too square. Colin Taylor there got a finger or so to it, but it was far too wide from Douthwaite, and it was really a present 4 runs.
There's been 1 or 2, Mike, that have been missed on the boundary where you'd expect Glamorgan's high standards to have stopped them.
Yeah, actually, you're right there. Like, I think the inner circle fielding has been very good here today, but yeah, missed out the 1 or 2 ground fielding in the out. That's slightly let them down, but still a reasonable performance in the field from them.
There's Douthwaite again and bowls to Harmer. Harmer tries to go for a square cut, wide. Doesn't miss it by a lot, and it's a wide outside the off stump. Now, you never know with Douthwaite. He's sort of unpredictable. Sometimes he bowls very good balls, and then the others could be wide, as we've seen there. Doesn't quite possibly, because of the lack of experience he's had, not developed. As he comes again and bowls, that's a much better delivery. Yorker length and straight. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Perfect ball, Mike.
Yeah, actually looked like he just tailed away from the batsman. Very nice delivery, but slightly fuller, slightly straighter. You're right there. On occasions there, he slips onto the bat quite nicely on occasion. Other times he looks quite skillful.
Here he is again. 3rd ball of the over. Comes up and bowls to Harmer. Harmer tries to hammer that away, but it just goes up to mid-off, who's rather deep, and they go through for a single as Ingram returns. And Neser has been rather starved of the strike, I would say, but having said that, he hasn't really looked as if he wanted to hammer the ball to all parts as he normally does.
Yeah, he's 19 runs from the 17 balls that he's faced.
He has had a word with his captain, who's gone down halfway through the over. I don't think it was get on with it, will you? More a case of, do you think it's time we should head for home? Anyway, we shall see what Neser got in store. Fine leg, and 3rd man are up in the ring. Anything past them will be 4. 1-3, 1 for 5. This is wide. Hit away to cover. He got away with that.
I think that was going to be a wide one there.
Yeah. In comes the return from Salt on the half volley. So again, they failed to capitalise. Just the 6 runs so far with 2 balls to go. Douthwaite in his 2nd over. 0 for 16 after 9 balls. He's in again and bowls this time to Harmer. Harmer plays it up towards long on again. It'll only be a single as Labuschagne comes in from the long on boundary and returns. Can't do anything wrong, can he, Labuschagne? Applause for it, just a little pick up and return. 1 ball left of this over, and he'd been a pretty good over apart from that boundary off the first ball at 1-3-3 for 5. Remember, there's just 2 overs left of the innings as in comes the next ball, the last ball, and that's hammered up towards long on. Ingram is going to... No, it's not Ingram. It's Labuschagne. They've swapped over. End of the over. Pretty good over that from Douthwaite. 2 overs to go. 134 for 5 is the Essex score. And the captain, Harmer, is not out 9, and Neser is not out 21, Nick.
Yeah, they'll be struggling to get 160, which I would have thought would have been par-ish at the moment. Well, maybe 170, judging on the scoring the other night. But Glamorgan slightly in the ascendancy.
I think more than that, Nick.
Well,
whose side do you want, Polly?
For tonight?
Nick has said slightly in the ascendancy. I think they're slightly more in the ascendancy, Glamorgan.
Glamorgan's game.
Oh, Nick Webb, you had an answer.
There we are. Mike is forever optimistic. I'm forever cautious. Here comes Rory Smith then from the River Taff end to bowl. Neesham's gone big towards long off. He could be caught. He is caught. Substitute fielder Callum Taylor is underneath that one, and Neesham has gone for 21, 134 for 6.
Yeah, obviously looking to push things on in the last 2 overs, and unfortunately caught in the boundary there. Comfortable catch out there at long off, almost slicing the ball. You could see he went up because he was tailing off away from us to the left hand side, which suggests he hasn't really got all of it in his strike. But yeah, Glamorgan still on top, hammering it home at the moment in the first half of this game.
And it was a very un-Neesham-like innings, that. I think it was 20 balls you received, Nick. 21 of 20.
I think part of it, rightly so, Eddie.
Off 20, yeah.
I think the players around him didn't manage him very well. Just get him on strike.
Yeah.
Get him face as many balls as you can. I'm sure Glamorgan players, if players out there, if you're playing with Ingram or Labuschagne, who aren't as of that standard, get them on strike. They'll win you games.
So will David Lloyd be fit to open the batting for Glamorgan? It's the question, after taking a knock to the hand while fielding a fiercely struck ball in the infield.
I think we can take a bit of comfort. He didn't go off straight away, did he?
No.
He took a couple of balls before he kept checking it, so it's not as if it's hanging off. Hopefully it's just a bruise, hopefully.
Tough man Mike Powell. As Jack Plum is the new batsman, but he's at the non-striker's end because they managed to cross. So it's Harmer on strike and playing this one towards long on and looking for 2, but a good piece of fielding from Labuschagne, who has taken Taylor's place on the boundary there.
He could do his laces up at the moment and get a clap from this crowd, wouldn't he?
Let me tell you something about Jack Plum. I'd never heard of him before I watched the Somerset's Essex game. You'd probably think, like my wife does, don't you watch anything else on television but cricket?
Does Mrs. Bevan ever get to control?
She's not in the same room. She has her own television.
In her own house.
He bowled the first over, gentlemen, against Somerset at Taunton, and went for either 32 or 33. And then he came in and absolutely whacked it. So let's see if he can whack it now.
Left-handed Plum is on strike. He's hit on the pads and they'll dash through for a leg by. There's a throw at the wicket. It misses from Selman. But I thought he was back on his stumps there and might be in danger, but it wasn't a big inquiry.
I think Rory Smith is easily the pick of the Glamorgan bowlers tonight. We've seen him do this. Do you remember when he took 4 for 8 or 4 for something
at
up
Middlesex?
At Middlesex, up at the Old Deer Park.
London Welsh, yeah.
He's running in. No effects of that injury.
2 for 10 for Smith at the moment. And he comes bowled. Slower delivery that has bamboozled Simon Harmer, who was through his shot about 5 minutes too early.
Let me just ask Mike one question. Neesham was caught. He should have cleared easily long off a short boundary. Yep. Now we've seen the batsman miss time. Is this pitch just going a little bit slower?
Possibly a little slow. Are they bowling more slower balls? Are they mixing up? I think on good wickets you revert back to more slow balls, more variations. So possibly towards the end of this innings, maybe they're subtly changing the paces.
Smith in to bowl to Harmer, who digs one out, round about off stump, Yorker length, plays it to cover, go through for a single. Ingram with the fielding, 137 for 6 Essex, as Smith will complete his, well, not his full stint, because he'll only have bowled 3 overs, but he has 2 for 11 at the moment, with 1 ball to come.
Couldn't understand that, as Mike was saying. He would want Smith, and I think you mentioned it, to bowl the last one, but he's not going to.
As he's bowling the penultimate over and the last ball, and that's smashed out towards extra cover, and a fumble on the outfield, and they'll come back for a second run. So Plum picks up 2, and Smith has finished 3 overs and 2 for 13. 139 for 6 are Essex with 1 over left. And boy, do they need a big one, Mike, from the batting point of view.
Yeah, they need a very big one to get themselves a chance of just being in the running for winning this game. Yeah, they've been very tentative, haven't run very well between the wickets, hit a lot of fielders throughout the innings so far, and that middle period really slowed down.
Well, Van der Gooten is back to bowl his 4th and final over, and Douthwaite 2 overs, 0 for 19. And Labuschagne, I think I'd have given him the last over. Just to tempt
You devil, you.
Anyway, Tim Van der Gooten, and he is going to be bowling at the Essex captain, Harmer. Harmer down the leg side. That'll be called a wide. It is by umpire Shaughnessy. Score now 139 for 6. Glamorgan will be pleased by their efforts so far. So a good start, a very positive start, as you often see. But Glamorgan have reined it back as Van der Gooten comes in. Bowls Emma. That's a big shot.
You got it?
And I think it's just going to land.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's cleared for 6. Lovely straight drive there, coming up towards us. It was nice that he made it into a half volley, Mike.
Nicely executed, wasn't it? I think Van der Gooten's like fuller delivery. He sat deep in his crease, didn't he? But kept his bat nice and straight and just muscled the ball straight into the side screen.
Harmer's moved on to 17. Simon Harmer leading by example here. Useful contributions, but batsmen seemingly getting out when they were just about set. Butterman top scorer so far 36, Pepper made 29 as Van der Gooten is in again. What's a full toss?
No ball.
Could well be a no ball. And well, there could also be a run out here. He'll have to rush, and he gets back there very quickly. Lucky to get away with that, Timmy boy. Let's have a look if we can have a look at that replay with this our monitor here. Seemed as soon as it was bowled, Michael behind me shouted no ball.
Waist height.
There we are. Umpire Mills favoured the Glamorgan side there, and 4 balls to be bowled, and it's the left-hander here, Jacques Plom. Third man is going back, and deep mid-wicket, a deep man at cow corner, a long on the boundary, long off has been brought up into the ring as Van der Gooten is in over the wicket, bowls to Plom. Plom drives and gets 4 runs. Good shot over extra cover, and this is proving to be a very useful over here for Essex. They needed it, and their score now has moved on, and they will be looking to try and get something over the 150, 160. Well, they've got 151 for 6, which is still under par. But Glamorgan will have to bat a bit better than they did, apart from Labuschagne and David Lloyd the other night. Van der Gooten then, round the wicket, decides to come for the last 3 balls. That was well struck by Plum, and I mentioned he can hit a ball a long way. And he's moved on to 6. Van der Gooten bowls to him short, and he's pulled that away up to deep mid-wicket. Beautifully fielded and returned. And good run in by the batsman, but good bit of fielding there by Kieran Carlson. 153 for 6, 2 balls left. Long on. Long off comes back, 3rd man back in the ring. And Van der Gooten getting a little bit of tap in this last over, as you would expect most do, as he's in to Plom again and goes wide of the crease, and he beats him this time, and thinks of a run, but cooked it well. They didn't chance it. Last ball coming up, barring a wide or a no ball. 153 for 6. Harmer at this stage is on 18, and if this is a legitimate ball, won't add to that score. It's Van der Gooten in his last ball. Turns, comes in again and bowls to Plom. Plom is beaten outside the off stump. Good end, good 2 last balls. 153 for 6, which you would say is I think it's a fair amount under par there, bearing in mind that the scores the other night were 179 and 175. 153 for 6, Mike Power.
Yeah, I think you're right there. They're 15-20 runs short, if not a little bit more. Reasonable fielding effort from Glamorgan. The odd mistake, the odd drop catch gone here and there, but as a whole, some reasonable ground fielding from them. Bowling on point, pick of the bunch. Rory Smith surprisingly just bowling his 3 overs, just thrown for the 13, 2 wickets in that as well. Surprised he didn't bowl out. Labuschagne was the nice surprise in that innings for Glamorgan with the ball, and hopefully it won't be a surprise and he'll score a lot of runs in the second half of this.
Mike, thanks very much indeed. Thank you to Edward. We'll be back in just under a quarter of an hour's time at 4 o'clock with commentary on the Glamorgan reply. They need 154 to win. The main Essex contributors: Buttleman with 36 off 26, Pepper 29 off 24, Neesham 21 off 20, rather restrained, Cushy 17, Harmer 18 off 12. Glamorgan bowling figures: Prem Sisodia 4 overs 0 for 34, Andrew Salter 4 overs 2 for 31, Dan Douthwaite 2 overs for 19, Rory Smith excellent 3 overs 2 for 13, Tim van der Hoogten 4 overs 1 for 34, and Marnus Labuschagne 3 overs 1 for 17. You're listening to BBC Sport Online, also available via the Glamorgan Cricket website. Commentary resumes at 4 o'clock.
So this is Sean Hannon, our first team captain and the main All-Stars activator. I'll just hand over to Sean.
Yeah, All-Stars is going great so far this season. Numbers have been fantastic. I think we're up to around between 25 and 30 little All-Stars. It's great to see on a Friday night up at the club, Dynamo's going on one side of the pitch, All-Stars on the other. It's just great after a lengthy period during lockdown just to see the kids out there and enjoying themselves. So we've got a lot of players, first team players, second team players, really keen support in the All-Stars, and it's great to see everyone as a club getting involved. On the playing front, from a first team perspective, this season we've newly entered the Village Cup competition, which so far we've played 3 games and have won the Dyfed region. I think from a club point of view, it's about trying to test ourselves as individuals, as a team and a club, and with the Welsh Cup as well. It's entering different competitions. It's good.
This is Sarah Aaron, the Neyland ladies captain. She also helps out with the Dynamos programme and has recently completed a Foundation 1 ECB cricket coaching course at Neyland. I'll hand over to Sarah.
Hi. Yes, I'm here in Neyland and we are very fortunate this year. We've got over 20 women and young ladies who are training with us on a Monday night. We'll be playing our matches on a Tuesday as part of the Pembrokeshire Women's League, with our cup games also on a Tuesday night. Hopefully we will have 11 matches this season. We've also been fortunate enough to enter 3 local softball tournaments on a Sunday, which will hopefully allow all of our junior girls to be able to have some experience before joining the Ladies' League with us next season. I've been helping out on a Friday night here with the Dynamos as well. Sometimes it's a little bit like herding cats, but all of the children that we have are super keen and super excited, and they turn up every week with a smile on their face and they go home eager to join us the following week. Thanks for listening.
This is Lee Day, a parent of Lottie who's in the Dynamos programme. I'll just hand over to Lee for some feedback.
Hello. Yes, Lottie's now in Dynamo. She's done All-Stars for the last few years. Really enjoyed it and has now moved up and is still enjoying it. Hopefully it'll be a good step on to playing cricket as she gets older. It's a great facility here at Neyland and we're very lucky to have it, and I hope a lot of children get to use it and carry on playing cricket up to the ages.
This is Paul Miller, the Club Development Officer and second team captain, also the main man responsible for developing the Neyland Community Hub. Hand over to Paul.
So yeah, we've had great support here over the last 10 years. We've existed for 125, but 10 years ago was a bit of a low point. We weren't performing that well. Facilities were not the best around. We spent a lot of time, effort and money as a team, and it might not be bigger than the Swalec here now, but it's definitely better.
Hi, this is Ben Noden, our Dynamo's coordinator and main activator. Did All-Stars 2 years ago and also completed a level 2 coaching course this year. I'll just hand over to Ben.
Lead activator on the All-Stars and Dynamos programme here at Neyland. Been coaching here for the last 3 years now. This year we're up to almost 60 children across our Dynamos and All-Stars programmes. Seems to be a little chaotic but good fun. And so, yeah, all the kids seem to be enjoying it.
And leading the Essex Eagles into the field, Simon Hart. And to open the batting for Glamorgan, Nick Selman and David Lloyd. And to open the bowling for the Essex Eagles at the River End, Aaron Neser.
So welcome back to BBC Sport Online. Nick Webb, Edward Bevan, Mike Powell with you from Sophia Gardens. Glamorgan chasing 154 to win. Good news is that David Lloyd will open the batting despite a blow on the hand while fielding. It'll be Aaron Neser, the left-arm spinner, to bowl to Nick Selman, who drives out into the offside, and he's got runs here. He might have 4 runs. In fact, he's linked into that one and timed it beautifully, and it's raced away between cover and mid-off for 4 runs. So the very best of starts. Nick Selman didn't really get going against Gloucestershire, but that'll make him feel a little better there.
Yeah, good start, lovely shot.
There's a slip-in for Neser to bowl to Selman, who works into a gap on the leg side and takes a single. 5 without loss.
Yeah, Nick and I have a discussion. Possibly this pitch in the interval gone a little bit slower. We may be wrong, but we've seen 1 or 2 batsmen check their shots. But as Mike Powell said, it could be the slower ball.
Neser then to bowl to David Lloyd for the first time. In comes Neser. And David Lloyd chips it gently towards mid-wicket. Got rather tucked up there. 5 for naught Glamorgan here on BBC Sport Online, as Lloyd will get off the mark here as he hits it down towards backward square. It's a long chase for the man on the mid-wicket boundary. I don't think hit that off the middle of the bat, but he, with only one fielder out in that general direction, it went away for 4.
Not only that, Nick, it's like glass, isn't it? This, after the weather we've had, it's very, very quick. Very good start, this.
9 without loss, Glamorgan. 154 is their victory target. Here's Neser to bowl to Lloyd. Steps back and hits it into the offside, and it's blocked at cover, and there's no run. Glamorgan, having had the 2 boundaries in the over, don't need to take any risks with their running. And Lloyd goes for a big hoik on that one, but just hits him somewhere and is bobbled through, and there is no run. 9 for naught after 1 over Glamorgan, and there'll be an update very shortly on BBC Radio Wales.
To open the bowling for the Essex Eagles at the Cathedral Road end, it's Jamie Porter.
So spin at one end, seam at the other. Jamie Porter, really skillful operator at county level, has caused many teams problems. It'll be Selman on strike. Glamorgan 9 for naught after 1 over, chasing 154 for victory. A good performance from the Glamorgan bowlers, with 2 wickets apiece for Andrew Salter and Rory Smith, who was very economical. Marnus Labuschagne as well caused a few problems, going at less than a run a ball. Will Battleman top scored, the young opener, with 36, but it looked like a below par performance from Essex. Glamorgan at 10 without loss in the second over, chasing 154. Single taken off the first ball as Lloyd pushes, and Selman is down the track and looking for a single and then diving back, and the ball misses the stumps at the non-striker's end anyway.
What was Selman doing there? It was going straight to that man at point. I reckon he would have been at either end by a large distance.
10 for naught, 2 boundaries on the board already for Glamorgan as Porter runs away from us and bowls, and that is a huge blow by David Lloyd over wide mid-wicket, and that has cleared the ropes by some 10 metres. The blow of the day.
The blow of the season, I would say, Nick, because I haven't seen a bigger shot. It's the longer boundary of the two, and a beautiful ball pitch on leg stump helped it on its way.
Here comes Porter again. Glamorgan 16 without loss. Porter into Lloyd, who swings but has hit that one straight to short fine leg, and there is no run. 16 for naught. Second over, 154 at 7.7 is the asking rate overall for Glamorgan. So we've seen spin and then seam from Essex. We've got plenty of seamers with Plum, Cook, Neesham to come. No tender scatter today. Walter can bowl seam as well. Porter bowls, and that's rather slogged by Lloyd to short mid-wicket, and there's no run. Last ball coming up of the second over. Glamorgan 16 for naught.
Yeah, I'll be above the rate after 2 overs. It's so essential to get a good start, because once you go behind the rate, you're always chasing the false shot, possibly.
Yes, they're always slightly behind, chasing against Gloucestershire. Here's Porter in to bowl, and that again is smashed over mid-wicket. Will this one go all the way? No, one bounce for David Lloyd. He's under 14, 20 without loss. Glamorgan off to Mike Powell, just the start they needed.
Yeah, Glamorgan off to absolute flyer with Lloyd, just showing how good this wicket is they produced here at Cardiff today. Lloyd just picking the ball and clipping it outside from off stump and flicking 1 for 6 and 1 for 4. Great start for Glamorgan. 20 for none off 2.
Yeah, beautiful shots, weren't they? And now Jack Plum. Yeah, I did mention, I shouldn't perhaps, if his family are listening. Well, no, they're not. BBC Essex are here, but that he went for 32 or 33 in his first over at Taunton the other night. That's the end of that. Because when you say things like that, Nick, you'll generally bowl.
He bowled a double wicket maiden now, isn't he?
Anyway, he's going to be bowling at Nick Selman, who got a boundary off his first ball. And he's bowling from the river end, and he is coming in to us now. Passed on by David Mills and bowls the right-handed Selman, and Selman plays it away on the onside for an easy single. And this gives Lloyd the opportunity now. Let's see what Simon Harmer's going to do with the field here. He's got a third man in a deep mid-wicket. He bowls a half-volley on leg stump. You can forget deep mid-wicket. It'll go sailing over his head into the pavilion. But he'll probably try and off. I'm very surprised, as you mentioned at the start, Nick, that we've got a slip in. But there we are. What do I know? Plum comes in over the wicket again. Nice action. Bowls, and that's going to be caught at mid-off. And that is the end of Lloyd, which is a shame because he hit 2 beautiful shots. 21 for 1. He departs in the third over, and Glamorgan could ill afford really to lose that wicket.
Talk about that slip there. Is it a reason thinking, right, we haven't scored enough runs, we need to bowl Glamorgan out, we need early wickets, or were they thinking that actually we edged a few and actually a first slip is absolutely in the game?
So
we'll only find out later.
Plum gets a wicket in his first over, and Glamorgan fans will be disappointed there because David Lloyd obviously go in and attack in. Now this is coming in. He's sidestepping like an outside half, coming in from the pavilion, going to one way and then the other. The star of Glamorgan's batting the other night, and he's coming in to join Nick Selman. Do you think perhaps he should have had a look at Plum first, Mike, or just carry on, David Lloyd?
I think he is a naturally aggressive batsman. That's why he sits right at the top up there. And maybe the part of it play with his bad thumb or finger. Who knows?
First ball is bowled to Selman in this over. Just pushes forward away on the onside. So the catcher there was Walter. He put his hands up to shield him from the sun, but really wasn't ever going to drop that. Batsman crossed, hence Selman is facing, and he's waiting now as in comes Plum and bowls to him, and he plays not a very good shot, but like immediately Selman calls him that there was no fielder near, but he was off like he was the other night, running like a hare. 22 for 1 Glamorgan. They're chasing 154 at 7.7 runs and over, and Harmer still, Simon Harmer, the captain, still having that slip in for Labuschagne, and that arc of 4 on the offside. Just the 3 on that onside as Plum is in, bowls the first ball to Labuschagne, who plays it off his legs up to mid-wicket, so he's off the mark with a confident little flick down the leg side, and Glamorgan move on to 24 for 1. And even if they don't get a run off this last ball, they will still be in front marginally of the rate. But all sorts of things can happen in one-day cricket, as we know. Wickets can tumble, they can get off to a flyer. As Plum prepares now, comes in to bowl to Salmon, and Salmon is away. That's the shot that his favourite shot, the flick off the leg side. So that's the end of the over. Pretty useful over that. The wicket fell. Glamorgan have moved on to 24 for 1, just a couple of a run or so ahead of the rate. Labuschagne is 1, and Salmon is 9. The batsman out, Lloyd, caught at mid-off by Walter off Plum for. Did he get 14, was it?
14 off 10.
14 off 10, yeah.
I appreciate we're only 3 overs into Glamorgan's batting innings here, but what I'm seeing already is the fact that they've rotated the strike. There seems to be more singles, less fielders are being hit hard with the ball, and with dot balls, more those very good deliveries actually going for runs.
Change of bowling.
Sam Cook to bowl. And it's driven by Salmon. There's a half. Oh, there's a mess up, and Salmon will have to go back.
Salmon playing out.
Well, I thought there was a single with the misfield there as he played it to mid-wicket. The ball cannoned around about 5 metres away from the fielder, and Labuschagne, Neser got his hands to it well, but Labuschagne, who's normally the most adventurous of runners and will run given half a chance, didn't want to know. Cook bowls and Salmon hoiks that somehow over fine leg for 4 runs. A couple of bounces down into the ropes at the far end. Not a big Nick Salmon shot that, but he's played it fairly effectively on that occasion.
Yeah, he top edge. Fortunately for Nick, the fielder down at fine leg is actually up inside the circle, so if he was down in regulation position, it would have been out, but got away with it, 4 runs.
Well, you should know where the fielders are. 28 for 1 Glamorgan as Salmon plays out on the offside.
Do you remember
by Walter, no run.
2 years ago, we were up at Cheltenham College at lovely ground, and Nick Salmon ran out Jack Rudolph off the first ball of the game.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Cheltenham has not been a happy hunting ground for the games that I've done there. It will be a happy hunting ground, of course, for the third member of our commentary team, Mike 299 Powell, as Cook bowls and Salmon drives straight to cover. There's no run. 28 for 1. 4th over. 154 is the target. We can confirm that Glamorgan have announced a 5 p.m. start for the next 2 home games on Wednesday against Kent and Friday against Middlesex. As Cook bowls and Salmon will get more runs here. He's placed that nicely, flicked away backward of square on the leg side, and another boundary for Nick Salmon as Glamorgan move on to 32 for 1 in the 4th.
Yeah, as you said, he placed it well, Mike.
Yeah.
He knew there wasn't a man there, but fine leg was up.
You're right there. He had a lot more control with that shot there rather than the top edge he had previously.
Last ball then of Porter's over, as we have Cook's over. 4 different bowlers used by Essex in 4. Salmon drives to cover, and Walter prevents a single being taken. So 4 dot balls and 2 boundaries off that over for Glamorgan, but it'll do from Welsh point of view. 32 for 1 off 4, Mike.
Yeah, confident start for Glamorgan, reasonably in control. Labuschagne possibly involved with a runner previous over, but a cool head from the experienced international cricketer sent Salmon back to his place.
We've often mentioned this, Mike, Nick and I. If you bat with Labuschagne, you have got to be on your toes immediately, because he takes the most outrageous runs.
Yeah.
You know, reminds me a lot of our old friends Steve James and Adrian Dale. They used to, in this type of cricket, they would often just tap it to gully and run and get home. So Plum getting a wicket in his first over, and he is going to bowl his second over from the river end to Marnus Labuschagne. Bowls to him. Labuschagne clips this nicely off his legs up to mid-wicket, and we'll get a leisurely single. So we've seen Nija open the bowling, we've seen Porter, Cook, and Plum. Right hand, left hand batsman, Plum. 33 for 1. And it's Plum from the far end again. Comes in, bowls to Selman. Selman drives up towards mid-on, goes for a very quick single, and he has to get out of the way. Now go round Plum. He's on all fours. Nick Selman is living rather dangerously, but there we are. He got a single, 34 for 1. I think the danger man here will be for Glamorgan. It'll be Simon Harmer. And they could just milk him for singles because he's easily the best off spinner in the country. But now it's Plum, drives up. Selman, what has he had for tea? He was coming down, quarter of the way down again. Labuschagne. Minor miracle here, Nick Webb, if it isn't run out. Shouldn't say that.
It's strange, isn't it? Because, as you say, partners have to be on their guard with Labuschagne, but so far he's been relatively cautious for him.
Well, a good look at Plum, who he's never faced before, who comes in and bowls to him and plays that away. This time they will go for a single as the wicket keeper.
I think with just the run rate just over 7, though 7.5 required for Glamorgan, I think you can be quite relaxed about that, pick up what you can with the singles, run reasonably well, and I'm sure boundaries will naturally come along. There's no real urgency to push the accelerator at the moment.
This is exactly the way he started, Labuschagne, the other evening, and finished up with 93 not out of 56 balls. But it'll be Selman now to face, penultimate ball of the over. In comes Plum, bowls to him, and he's hammered that down past the square leg for 6. That was going like a tracer bullet, one of those that comes head high. Remember the last game of the season, Selman played quite beautifully, Nick, up when they were chasing over 200 at New Road, do you remember?
Yeah, he's deceptive batsman, isn't he? Because he's such a blocker often in the Championship, but he can be effective without quite looking like he is going to be in T20 cricket.
We've moved quickly on to 24. There's another man sent out now to mid-wicket. There's an easy 1 or 2, or easy single on that onside. There's nobody close to the bat. As in comes Plum, bowls again, and this time he's clipped away, and 4 more. Dive in despair from the man at short fine leg. But good, well played, Nick Selman, because he again, 3 times now, Mike, he's known that fine leg is up in the ring and he's going to have a dart down there.
Yeah, he sort of moves across the off stump as well, so he's opened up that leg side. Everyone's out on the boundary on that leg side, so worst case scenario, he gets a pad or a bit of baton and he comes through the single. But if it's there, he's absolutely going through with it and getting as much bat as he can and flicking it over the man backward, 45 almost. He's played that very well. Put himself in a very good position here, Glamorgan, 45 for 1.
Yeah. It's nice to see Nick Selman taking the initiative as well, and not relying on Marnus Labuschagne to provide the impetus in these early stages. So Labuschagne is on strike. Jamie Porter is going to be the man bowling to him, his second over, and Labuschagne gets out his late cut and guides it down to third man for a single.
Do you think he's saying, like, you're the senior man, you're going so well, I'll give you the ball in, Nick?
Absolutely, it takes the pressure off Labuschagne. It absolutely takes pressure off him. And the worrying thing for Essex, you've got your non-star player batting like Selman is at the moment. Alarm bells are ringing, thinking, wait till Labuschagne gets going.
46 for 1.
And Ingram.
Porter in, bowls, logged away towards square leg, it doesn't quite carry, and Nick Selman survives. They'll take a single. That was an awkward one for the fielder coming in from the boundary, who had to dive forward and probably reached it about on the half volley there. Selman survives.
So there's a rattling good start, but mustn't forget that after 6 overs, Essex were 49 for 1.
Yeah, Essex were 68 after 8 was probably their high point as Labuschagne drives into the offside. Walter Fields, no run. 47 for 1. Glamorgan chasing 154 for a victory.
And ahead of the rate needed, which is always important. 9 wickets in hand.
Porter marches back towards us, running from virtually the edge of the 30-metre fielding circle from the Cathedral Road end, pitch slightly towards our left, towards the pavilion, as Labuschagne is tucked up there and playing that one straight to cover. No run, Pepper the fielder there. And, well, Glamorgan are using this flying start they've been given just to not take quite as many risks at times. Just a couple of balls left of the power play with all but 2 fielders in, then another 3 can push back for the next over. Porter into bowl, and that's just run down to gully by Labuschagne for a single. 48 for 1.
You're right there, Edward. There's visions of Steve James of that way, he's running that ball down there.
Oh, he's an impossible runner, yeah.
I'm sure Steve James would quite happy to be in the same sentence as Labuschagne. He'd be quite happy with that if he is listening.
Yeah, he'll be joining us, Steve, for one of the games later this week.
Good to hear Steve again.
Tomorrow night, by the way, I'll be working with James Harris, Middlesex and former Glamorgan bowler, who's played for Glamorgan a couple of times this season. As Porter bowls, full length ball, and it's clipped by Selman straight fine leg, no run, end of a fairly decent over from the Essex seamer, really. 48 for 1 after 6 overs. Essex at this stage were on 49 for 1.
Yeah, I like the way Selman's going about his business though. He's on 29, just after 5 or 6 overs gone so far. I quite like the way he's moving around the crease, making things quite difficult for the bowlers, not standing in one place, moving over to off stump, moving back onto leg stump. Keep the bowler guessing. He's moving the ball very nicely and getting rewarded for his nice shots he's playing.
Well, the slow left armer, quite predictably, Aaron Neser is coming on. He just had 1 over, which went for 10 runs, the opening over. Now, of course, he can spread spread the field, a long off and a long on, a deep extra, deep backward square. And yeah, he's got an interesting field, this. And Labuschagne is going to, as he does, counts the fielders. As in comes Neser, bowls the first ball, and he plays it away into the gap. Poor bit of fielding there on that offside by the captain, would you believe? And he hits the ground in anger at himself and nobody else. 49 for 1. Selman to face Neser from that far end. He's going round the wicket, bowls short. Oh, and it cut a little bit low. And Selman had to go dab down rather quickly on it. Neser, left arm round the wicket, doesn't take long to bowl and over. Bowls again a little bit short and again beats Selman, who tries to cut it on the offside, varying his pace here, Michael.
Yeah, he's just slipping it into the sort of off stump, wide of the crease, slipping it right round into middle and off, and Selman trying to give himself a bit of room, trying to cut a full delivery.
Here's the next ball, which is played out towards deep extra cover for a couple. It was well positioned and well played. You knew that there was nobody remotely over. Then applause for Glamorgan, this batsman, because they've taken the score to 51. First wicket falling 21. Someone moves into the 30s. He's on 31 as in comes Neser, bowls to him, and he's clipped this away on the onside down to that man on backward square leg boundary for a single. One ball left. Battleman keeping wickets. Geez, his field is up. As Labuschagne on 4. Waits now as Neser comes in, bowls to him. A quick ball is cut away. And there's no run. He hit it a little bit too hard. He was full over that from Neser, just a single off it. And it's now 52 for 1. We have had 7 overs. Glamorgan needing 154 to win this, their first win, if they get it.
Yeah, I think Essex need to build a little bit of pressure off the back of this over. Good over to start now. Build a little bit of pressure within this sort of 4 overs. If they are looking to win this game, this needs to be a tight 4 overs within there, and there needs to be a couple of wickets.
They've had a tight couple of overs in the last couple, just 7 runs off the last 2. And skipper Simon Harmer experienced South African, played 5 tests for his country to purvey his off break. He's got 2 for 23 against Hampshire.
It never goes for many.
3 overs, but Glamorgan will be wary of him.
The runs on the onside, the push, if they get 6 singles, they'll be quite happy.
Harmer is in to bowl, and there is one of those singles up towards long on. They've run the first one quickly just in case, but the throw coming in from Neser on the boundary prevents them thinking about a second. 53 for 1.
Run a ball, Mike, you reckon?
Yeah, I think taking the 6, more than happy.
Will Marnus Labuschagne agree? Harmer bowls to him. Yep, he will here as he just gets back on his stumps, works it towards mid-wicket. There's no one up in front of the wicket, saving the single on the leg side. 54 for 1. Selman has 33. Labuschagne has 7. As Harmer bowls, and yep, single up to long on.
Milking time.
As they have a look at what the Essex captain is up to with the ball. So yeah, James Harris and BBC Radio London's Mark Church will be my co-commentators tomorrow night. 6:30 start at the Oval for Surrey against Glamorgan, Monday night. That one plays again, worked on the leg side. Labuschagne this time thought about a second run, but Pepper was quickly in off the mid-wicket boundary, and they didn't.
There's a poor phrase coming from me. If you had the Sussex opening batsman and Pepper, what would you have batting together?
Salt and pepper. Ta-da. Selman plays that one up to long on. Again, they try and put some pressure on the fielder, but again, Neser is not buying it.
Surprised he hasn't got one to plug that gap, aren't you?
It is interesting, a bit of cat and mouse here at the moment. Essex seem to be happy to go for 6, and Glamorgan quite happy to take 6.
Harmer bowls, full length, driven by Labuschagne. That will put a little bit more pressure on the fielding, but again, Pepper is equal to it. Had to make some ground to get that one. 6 singles off the over, as predicted by our excellent commentary team. 58 for 1 off 8. Glamorgan actually 10 runs behind where Essex were at this point.
I think that's very sensible cricket, wasn't it? Because you can see Harmer offer 2 or even 3 and you're still there, then you can have a look at him.
Harmer's the big threat, isn't he?
Yeah.
If you can take him for 24, so be it. Quite happy. With no wickets down, you're in a very, very strong position. And take the runs off the lesser bowlers.
Neser had to continue then from that far end, and he'll be bowling to Labuschagne. He'll take a single off the last ball or over. In he comes now, bowls the first ball. Labuschagne's a very, very un-Labuschagne shot. That he goes down and tries to whack it into the river. Tough from the far end, but he was done a little bit in the flight there. Don't think there's any turn here, but Neser plugging away from that far end, comes round the wicket now and bowls again short. And, is there a bit of turn there, Mike Powell? Because you're looking to play it away on the offside and ended up with short, fine leg.
I think the angle, he's been cramped up for space. He's trying to hit the ball over mid-off for the ball that's sort of been darted into middle stump. And that when he tried to run down again, it was darting into the stump. So possibly push it to long on, try and push it 2 rather than hit it too hard. Oh,
now that's hit pretty hard out towards deep extra cover for the single. And
interesting, because it's a similar sort of time where Glamorgan put the squeeze on Essex and they were bowling. Looks like 2 or 3 overs they're stringing together here, Essex.
Essex were 80 for 2 after 10. Neser comes in, bowls to Selman. Selman plays it, forcing shot straight back to the bowler. So just been tied up a little bit. But again, you see, if they've only got 4 overs each, so with the start they've got, they can afford to push it around. Although Neser is tying them down at the moment. In he comes and bowls now to Nick Selman, who goes and hammers that out towards deep mid-wicket, and it has cleared everything. Half a dozen of the best for Selman. He got back and he hit that a long, long way. 6 to Selman. That's his second 6 now. And he's proven a point now, I think. He's been left out of the county championship side the last 3 or 4 games and brought back here, and he's moved on to 41 And Glamorgan needed that, just to take the pressure off a bit, Michael. Here is Neser. Last ball of the over, comes in, bowls, and that's driven up into the covers, end of the over. 7 runs off that over.
Yeah, still a reasonable smart over there, even though it's going for that 6 runs on the 5th delivery, but still a smart over. They'll be happy. It'll be interesting if Harmer changes his field here.
He's not coming on.
Does he change the bowling?
Yes, he has. Because I think he was played so well. He got Cook, the opening bowler, coming back on. I think he thought, well, if they're going to take 6 or even more runs and over from me by just milking, I want wickets.
He's putting a lot of pressure on himself, I guess, Harmer, because he's going to have to bowl when the charge is on a little bit more.
And he is a good bowler, though. If that's the charge, you know, he can deceive you. And
sign of a good player, that, isn't it? Senior players taking responsibility on their own shoulder.
Here is Sam Cook then running away from us at the Cathedral Row end to bowl, and slightly missed time by Labuschagne. He wants a single there, and he had to hurry. Did hurry. There's nearly an overthrow, but some good backing up from the man in the distance. Cushy down at deep square leg.
Thought you'd run in with him, Mike?
Not now.
In your prime?
In his prime. Yeah. Need to be keeping up with him.
Enjoyed it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, yeah.
66 for 1. As Selman on strike gets one up in the block hole. He's clipped it down to fine leg for a single. 67 for 1. Faint cries of "oh glammy glammy," but the crowd are all sitting so far apart that
yeah.
It's
looks good in front of us, isn't it?
There's most of the crowd that are in the Cathedral Road stand rather than the grandstand, strangely, which has got many unoccupied rows. Cook bowls a short delivery, and that's a good one because Labuschagne can't get anything on it. Got a little bit tucked up and couldn't play the hook shot.
I could give you a long list of cricketers I played with who wouldn't like to bat with Labuschagne and run between the wickets. That's for sure.
Hardy B. Croft?
Oh, I wouldn't like to mention anyone, Ed. We'll start with him if you want.
Yeah, dear old Crofty, he did it. Puffing a bit.
Cook in to Labuschagne, drives into the onside. There might be a second run here. It's slightly misfielded by Harmer, who didn't know where the ball had gone for a moment there, and they are back for a second, and Harmer will get a little bit of stick from the crowd for that one, maybe.
He did. No, they don't give you stick at Chelmsford, do they, Mike?
No.
One of the worst partisan crowds. Most partisan, maybe?
Taunton gives it a good go as well.
Yeah. Cook steaming in, bowls to Labuschagne, and they'll go through for a very quick single. He was out if that had hit, and it didn't.
Oh, I know, that was a bad run.
That was the bowler doing the fielding himself.
Reminiscent of Sisodi at the start with
shied at the stumps at the non-strikers end. Labuschagne had given up, but he missed it. Cook on the turn from about 15 metres away.
Good bit of work, wasn't it, from Cook?
Got there quickly.
Got rid of it quickly.
Just
missed the stumps.
Labuschagne.
Oh, that would have been a big wicket for Essex.
70 for 1. Glamorgan slowing dangerously. Last ball of the first half. Selman pops it out into the onside.
Oh, what a bit of fielder.
Superb piece of fielding from Pepper, clawing it back from just a foot or so inside the ropes at deep mid-wicket. So Glamorgan have still got a lot of work to do. They're behind at the halfway mark. Essex were 80 for 2. Glamorgan are 72 for 1. Still needing 82 runs to win off the last 10.
I think you'd be quite confident for Glamorgan supporters. You've got Selman playing very well, putting himself on 44, and Labuschagne just getting himself going, just eyeing things up, measuring things up before he puts a bit of an onslaught onto this Essex attack. Remember, we've got Ingram in next as well, so there's a strong back line-up.
And Carlson.
Carlson, yeah, that's a strong line-up for Glamorgan.
And there will be another bowling change at that far end. Neser has been taken off, having conceded 8 runs in that last over.
To bowl at the river end, Jimmy Neesham.
And this will be the 6th bowler. It'll be Jimmy Neesham bowling his medium pace. New Zealand all-rounder, and he will be bowling at Marnus Labuschagne. And he comes ball the first ball, and there's a clip off the leg side to the boundary, and they go for a single. Now Nick Selman would love it if Neesham bowls that line to him, because that is his favourite area. There's a clip off the legs. He is on 44, highest score in the game, 873 for 1, Glamorgan. Mid-wicket is sent back, and there's a man there at just backward of square leg. Third man comes into the ring as Neesham comes in again and bowls, and this time is clipped in the air purposely by the batsman Nick Selman. Thick single, 74 for 1. Labuschagne 15, and Nick Selman is on 45. Might be a case here. I'll just finish that question, and Mike in after this ball from Neesham. Coming to bowl, bowls to Labuschagne now, and Labuschagne gets a wide ball outside the off stump, and Glamorgan get another run.
You can see Neesham's not happy. The wide was given. He stood in the middle of the wicket after he bowled his delivery and stayed a couple of seconds at the umpire there, but only because Labuschagne gave himself so much room he ended up outside leg stump, which sort of gave the illusion the ball was wider than probably what it was.
He's changed that man at just wide of square leg. Every other ball there's a single there on the onside, and he's bringing his third man up, so he's mixing up his deliveries at the moment as he comes into bowl to Labuschagne again, and Labuschagne has tried to hoik that over mid-wicket and doesn't get it. He's a little bit out of touch, Nick, from what we saw the other night.
Yes, I mean, he accelerated beautifully on Thursday night in the dark. Perhaps it's the light being better. Perhaps he only plays in the dark, but yeah, he's well under a run of ball at the moment, Labuschagne.
How did he start differently? I wasn't here the other night. How did he start
slowly?
Differently?
Well, he started, yeah, but probably a run of ball, and then got going, accelerated viciously in the end.
I hope he doesn't think, oh, we're well behind, because Glamorgan know we're well behind. As Neesham comes in and bowls again, and this time is guided down to third man, and he'll get 4 runs. That's what I meant when I said to you he didn't slog Mike the other night. That was a 4-day championship shot. Beautiful late. He played a lot of those late cuts the other night.
It's interesting field position for Neesham. He's put the third man up inside the 30-metre circle, but Labuschagne, it's such a strong shot for Labuschagne there, the way he guides the ball down in that area. It's such a high-risk position to bring him up inside the circle.
His partnership worth 58 now, and Labuschagne has moved on to 19 without knowing. 45 to Selman. That's the boundary that Glamorgan wanted. And still a couple of balls left after that wide. As Neesham comes, rather a long run for medium pace, and bowls, and that's played away. And there's runs again, 4 more. Passes short third man. And Jimmy Neesham has completely messed up his over by his field placing.
Agree.
Nick, do you agree for once?
Yeah.
Well, they must wonder what on earth is going on here.
They probably should have picked that up, because there's an awful lot of analysis goes on these days, and you'd have thought that someone would have said on the Essex staff would have had a look at Labuschagne's innings. Perhaps they couldn't see it in the dark, but there was an awful lot of late cutting going on, as you say.
Don't give him width. Still a ball to go. He moved on to 23 now very quickly. As Neesham comes in again, bowls to Labuschagne. Labuschagne pulls down and will get a single down to long leg. So useful over there. 10 runs off it, if not more.
Maybe Neesham, maybe he missed the team meeting.
Yeah. Now you see, I think there, Michael, that Harmer has let Glamorgan a little bit off the hook, because he's coming back on now. But by that bowling chase, Neser bowled well, except for that 6, and he bowled a good first over, really. And I think he's thinking, well, those 2 overs with the seamers cost us over 20 runs.
Agree. They were putting just a little bit of a nice period together, wouldn't they? 4 or 5 overs, put a little bit of squeeze on Glamorgan, put a little bit of pressure. You never know. There could have been a run out, there could have been a forced error. But just those 2 overs there, it's just relieved all the pressure they possibly could be putting on the team.
No, then that man has come over to plug the single that they took off every ball of Harmer's first over. And he's coming in
balls, and there's a attempted sweep shot, and they've gone through for a singlet, maybe a bye. Labuschagne launching the kitchen sink at that one, and indeed it is a bye. Won't matter from the Glamorgan point of view, but it's not playing with the same fluency so far. Labuschagne just threatening to get going with those 2 late cuts as Selman forces one off the back foot out into the covers and goes through for a single.
Having said that, I remember 2 years ago up at Chelmsford, I was there with you, where Colin Ingram absolutely devoured Simon Harmer.
Yeah. In comes Harmer again, bowls to Labuschagne, who drives up towards long on, doesn't quite time it as he came down the pitch. Ingram is due in next. He likes a little bit of time to get going, and he's not going to get it if he cuts in at 4 today.
I don't know, they're still comfortably placed.
Reversal from Nick Selman, and that's swept away down to the 3rd man boundary, and Nick Selman goes through to an excellent half century and is really spearheading this Glamorgan effort. Just 33 balls, including 5 fours and 2 sixes. Mike?
Yeah, a classy 50 and a classy way to bring it up as well. Very control reverse sweep.
Ball back in Harmer's hands as Selman works on the leg side for a single.
He's playing quite beautifully, isn't he, Nick Selman? Hasn't played really a false shot.
Hasn't played a huge lot of T20 cricket, has he?
Got 100 last week against Somerset, or somebody, I was told.
Oh, in the 2s?
Yeah.
As Labuschagne back on his stumps, playing towards mid-wicket. Just a single.
Got over that.
93 for 1. 9 off, and Glamorgan's equation 61 off 8 at around about 7.6, so they're just ahead of the run rate. And crucially, Mike, plenty of wickets in hand. I would say men in the hutch, but they're probably on the boundary somewhere.
Yeah. They've got themselves in a very nice position. Just the 1 wicket down, 93 on the board, and Selma going very well. Labuschagne just ticking things over. And they say there's so many batters to come beyond what we've got in here. Colin Ingram, Kieran Carlson, Chris Cook, Douthrow, Salter. They're all good strikers of the ball. So, yeah, I think we're in a really, really good position to win this game.
Neser is back to bowled his final over. 3 overs for 20 from the river end. He comes round the wicket, and that's a glorious shot which will get the batsman 4 runs. That is pure magic, Marnus Labuschagne, Mike.
Beautiful. A couple of steps. Beautiful step. Just a couple of steps down the wicket there, and Harmer fielding an extra cover. Had no chance of stopping that ball. Pacing the field beautifully through to long off for 4 runs.
Shot of the night.
The sound of it.
Shot of the season. No, it really was a beauty. He moved on to 30. Neser in again, bowls, and this time is shorter. Very well fielded. I think that might have been Harmer at it was. That stung. So Labuschagne now just gone from 3rd into 4th gear as Neser comes in, bowls, and this is hammered up into the gap. That will perhaps be 4. No, it stopped just inside, but they'll get 2 runs. Yeah, he decided, I think, right, I'm off now. 2 more to Marnus Labuschagne, on to 32. Ominous at the moment. Neser from that far end in, goes to bowl and then stops. Neser round the wicket, they're very wide of the crease, and that's swept out towards deep mid-wicket for another single. And that brings up the 100 for Glamorgan, a very good partnership, and these now have put on 79 for this second wicket, an unbroken partnership. 33 now to Labuschagne as Neser comes in now and bowls to Selman short. Selman digs it out and just pushes it gently up to mid-off for no run. 7 or 8 off this over already, keeping up with the run rate as Neser bowls it. That's a very wide delivery, a bit of a misfield. Harmer's having a bit of a nightmare, and the crowd is letting him know. Good running though, excellent running. Sanitizer time, and Glamorgan going along extremely well here. They've moved on to 101 for 1. Very good score boards here, but the moment you look at it, they're playing something else for a moment. 101 for 1, 7 overs left, and they need, what do they need, 53?
Just over 7s at the moment.
Plenty of wickets in hand, Mike. So at what stage do you say we want to get ahead of the game? And
I think it'll naturally happen. The longer these boys are in and how aggressive they are, and obviously referring back to what's going to come in behind these, they'll naturally go at 7, 8s, 9s without even thinking about it. So there's no real thought of going, right, now we've got to go even harder than what we're doing at the moment.
And once he's bowled out, Harmer, he is the danger man, as you've said throughout. He's having a long conversation now with his vice-captain, presumably, about how do you place a field to these two.
Well, Harmer has bowled 2 overs for 14. All the bowlers much of a muchness, really. Nijar 4 overs, 0 for 28. Porter 2 overs for 14. Plum 2 overs, 1 for 17. As Harmer bowls, and Salman plays to long on for a single, 102 for 1. Sam Cook 2 overs, 0 for 14. Jimmy Neesham's 1 over was quite expensive, went for 12.
Eccentric over, I thought that was from
with a couple of Labuschagne late cuts. Salman on 53, Labuschagne on 33. Harmer jogs in, bowls. Salman, Labuschagne brings out the reverse, and he has found the ropes at third man.
That was out like side leg stump, you know.
Phenomenal shot. So I think what's happened, Harmer's seen the fact.
He saw him coming.
He saw a premeditated reverse sweep. Harmer's fired into leg stump down, outside leg stump almost, and he's dragged that from outside there to get it fine down at third man. Phenomenal reverse sweep.
See how he's going along rather quickly now, 37.
Harmer bowls, back in his stumps goes Labuschagne and takes a single to Neesham at short mid-wicket, because Neesham had to make about 10 metres to his right to field. 107 for 1. Labuschagne moves on to 38 not out. Man who didn't have an official T20 half century before the other night. Salman hits inside out over cover, and he's got away. He's placed it perfectly, and it's just reached the ropes at extra cover. I thought Salman might have skied that for a moment, but got enough on it and ran away for 4 runs to the pavilion side of the ground. 111 for 1 as Harmer reorganises his troops once more.
He's having a touch of the Neeshams here, isn't he? He doesn't know where to put his fielders.
Salman to 57. Harmer in, bowls, and that's chipped to mid-wicket by Salman for a single. Essex looking slightly bedraggled at the moment. Have they got anything much left in the locker? Glamorgan need 42 off 6.1. with 9 wickets in hand.
37 balls.
Very much favourites at the moment. As down the wicket comes Labuschagne, but Harmer drops it short. Plays it back to the bowler. 112 for 1. 11 off the over. The equation now 42 off 6 at 7.
Yeah, I think that, as you asked earlier, Nick, when are they going to start pushing the button to go a little bit harder? And I think, as I said, it'll happen naturally. Just within there, they've not really gone. They just played sensible cricket shots in there, and they've taken, what was it, 11 from that over, which is well above the rate of 7 that's required. So I think they'll just see more of the same as we progress with this game.
I was going to ask you, there's no point in one of them going and heading for home and getting out. You know, that only precipitates possibly a collapse. Well, Jack Plum is going to come back, and he is bowled 2 overs, 1 for 17, the only wicket to fall, and he will be bowling at a very in-form Nick Salman. Glamorgan riding high at the moment, but you just cannot predict anything in T20. Salman is on 58. And he is going to have a very defensive field, as you would expect. Now, as Plum comes in for the first ball, and he's tickled that round the corner for a single, and giving the bowling to Labuschagne. Colin Ingram, I want to knock. I've only just come over. I got 1 in the first match. I want to play. You have a knock tomorrow night. Very, very strong Surrey side who had 2 out of 2. But with a strong bat inside and an oval wicket, which always favours batsmen, who knows? There's Plum comes into Labuschagne. Plays it off his legs and will get, surely only a single, yes, just the single.
Am I right in saying Glamorgan's got a very good record at the Oval, isn't it?
Except for last year when they were all out for 40 or
yeah, it's been up and down. Yeah, they'd won a load in the row, yeah.
That's right.
I remember Carlson played a terrific innings there 3 or 4 years ago. Graham Wargall got runs. This was terrific. They were 200, I think. As Plum comes in from that river end again and bowls, and Selman is caught at the wicket. Yeah.
He's dropped it.
We dropped it. Well, that is a reprieve. Looking at our ledge here, and I'm sort of leaning back, and the ledge is between Battleman, the keeper's body, and myself. I saw him gone down. I saw David Mills get raided in the finger, and that was that.
Short ball pulled, down leg side, isn't it? Glove, lollipopped up to a diving keeper, but shouldn't be dropping them.
No. A reprieve for Selman on 59. Right, says he. And going now. In comes Plum, bowls again. Plays an outrageous hoik down towards fine leg and gets a single as if to say, well, I've had a life, I'm going to have a dart. I think the hot afternoon in a...
Is that your family, Edward?
Certainly not. My grandson...
Barracking the visitors.
Certainly, well, he won't come again, no, keep it night, as good as gold. Certainly not.
Oh, it's Mr. Powell's mates then.
Yeah.
My grandson did that, he'd be walking back to Treballis. 115 for 1 as Plum comes in again. This time bowls to Labuschagne. Labuschagne plays a beautiful shot. Michael Powell.
What a shot.
4 runs.
Plum's going for the Yorker there, and he's nice and full, and Labuschagne nice and deep in his crease, and just powerfully pushed that ball back from long on. A couple of bounces, 4 runs.
Wasn't that pure timing?
Yeah.
And,
now he's in his stride.
There's also skill to notice that mid-on is up inside the circle and is able to hit over the top.
Nick, the carbon copy of this innings that he played on the other night.
Accelerating nicely at the moment.
He's moved on to 43. In comes Plum, bowls to him again. Oh, that's a magnificent shot again. I think that's going all the way. It has. Into the pickets, the far side. And he goes on to 49, and Glamorgan are coasting Michael Powell.
Yeah, I think this is the Labuschagne that people have paid to come and watch. No scratching around anymore. Now he's hitting the boundaries, getting right in his stride. It's dangerous for Essex. They need something. They need a wicket. They need something to change for them to get back into this game.
And that applause from the Glamorgan supporters, well, only Glamorgan supporters, is for the 100 partnership.
The next home match is against the Kent Spitfires here on Wednesday. I can confirm that the game on Wednesday against the Kent
5 o'clock start. Come on, Andrew Hicknell. 5 o'clock. There we are. If you're planning to get down to the ground, if you're able to get tickets with the restrictions only lifting gradually under government
you get
rules.
Time off work.
Yeah, if you can get here for 5, if you've got ticket. It's an early start as Harmer comes round the wicket and Salmon takes a single to mid-wicket. We'll be on air on BBC Sport Online, and we're also, of course, available, as in all home games, via the Glamorgan cricket website with their video stream. 125 for 1. Labuschagne on 49 not outs, make that 50 as he plays it gently up to long on and goes through for the single. And Labuschagne then has a second half century in as many T20 appearances for Glamorgan. It's taken him just 39 deliveries despite the relatively restrained start, and he's hit 5 4s and 1 6. 127 for 1. Harmer into Selman, who gives it the charge and chips it over mid-wicket and has found the gap there. And it's all flowing nicely towards Glamorgan at the moment as Selman placed that over the short mid-wicket, found the gap between the outfielders, ran away for 4 more, and Glamorgan really cutting down the required run rate. They need a further 23 with 4.3 overs to go. But there is a wicket as Selman has hit a full toss back to Harmer. He's gone for 65. And
Very
Glamorgan, 2 down, but an excellent century partnership between these two, Nick Selman and Marnus Labuschagne. Caught and bowled Harmer, 65, 131 for 2. Glamorgan need 23 off 4.2.
Yeah, it's so impressive. Salman's innings there. You just touched on it then, Nick. Was yes, he struck the ball very nicely, but his placement and the way he moved the ball around, manipulate the fielders. That last but one shot he played there, just chipping it over mid-wicket, over his head into a big gap. That would impress me today. Well played, Salman. Very, very good innings.
And who would you like to see come in next, Essex? Colin Ingram. Having said that, he was out for one the other night, but Glamorgan spectators, Nick, have been waiting for this for a couple of years to see these two together.
Yep, it's a welcome sight for Welsh followers of the game. Hopefully there'll be a few more in to appreciate it on Wednesday and Friday night. 5 o'clock starts both those matches. If you're planning to watch in person, to watch online or listen online, 5 o'clock start. Colin Ingram then at the wicket. Slip is brought back in by Simon Armour, and Ingram defends the first ball.
Yeah, these two batsmen here for Glamorgan, they're sitting right at the top table as far as one day play, or even just batsmen on their own have played for this club.
Ingram hasn't played nearly as much as he would have liked over the last 18 months, he told me, and he'll get some runs here. He'll get 4 of them as he's cut that one away over backward point for 4 up to the River Taff end of the ground. It's 135 for 2, 19 needed off 4. And even such an innate pessimist as myself has to admit that this should be a stroll for Glamorgan.
You've got at last, Nick. Mike, we've had him at last, thinking Glamorgan might win.
Got him. You've got to relax, Nick. It's a stressful place for you to be.
So it will be Sam Cook who has changed ends. He has bowled at this end 2 overs for 15. Very good championship bowler, Sam Cook, and he's bowling to Labuschagne, who 50 not out. And he comes and bowls. Labuschagne goes for the hook. A short ball goes through to the keeper. So Colin Ingram getting off the mark with a boundary off Simon Harmer, and he finished with 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 35, which Mike, is expensive for him.
It was very difficult because there was no pressure really applied around him, and he needs people not going for runs at the other end, ideally.
Cook bowls, and this is clipped away for a single by Labuschagne, which brings Ingram up to the receiving end. Glamorgan 136 for 2 and another 18, and they'd like to get it with perhaps an over or so to spare, because it does the run rate no harm at all. And they will get off the mark now with and you think, Mike, if they play like this now over the next 3 games, they're going to win 1 or 2 of them, you would have thought.
Oh, they're a very strong team this year, Glamorgan. They play to their potential. They get on a little bit of a roll, they won't be far away.
In comes Cook and bowls to the left-handed Ingram, who plays it hard down towards third man and gets a single. Mr. Webb will be interviewing Mr. Labuschagne yet again, I would have thought.
I think it's going to be Mr. Selman this time.
Of course, yes.
Because we don't want to wear out Marnus, and he's quite a self-effacing sort. Perfectionist as well. He's furious he hadn't won the match the other night.
He was, wasn't he? Got Cubs.
Oh yeah.
Dropped there. A very, very. Oh, this could be out quick. No, he's home. Just pausing there as a report will be coming up, and Nick might well get the result by the time 3 or 4 minutes after 5 o'clock. As the score moves on to 138. 138 for 2.
I think you've got another delivery or 2, Edward, since it's your over.
Ingram on 5.
15 to win.
Labuschagne on 15. 53, and it will be Labuschagne to face with 2 balls left of this 18th over. 139 for 2. That cut away straight to the fielder, Harmer. No run. Good positive performance by Glamorgan's top order here. Selman, everybody will be delighted for him because he's been given his chance and he's taken it with both hands. 139 for 2 rather, as Cook comes in and bowls to Labuschagne. Labuschagne gets a full toss, which he hammers out towards deep mid-wicket, and they go through for a single. 140 for 2, and Glamorgan need just 14 runs off 18 balls, and this will be a good win for them, Michael Powell.
Yeah, it's a solid performance, you say, from Glamorgan. Reasonably, there's probably a little bit more of them in the field, actually, the odd mistake here and there, which is unlike this Glamorgan fielding set. Yeah, bowled sensibly, bowled well. Labuschagne, nice surprise with the ball in hand today. But yeah, a reasonable performance. Rory Smith with the ball, and a very solid performance, Labuschagne and Selman with the bat. So all round a good day.
Jimmy Neesham is going to try and drag it back for the visitors. 140 for 2, 14 needed off 18 balls.
They're all up for the single.
Essex have decided to bring a few extra fielders in.
Now then, let's see what he's
5 in the circle.
Got a bowl here, and what's his field placing going to be?
4 in the circle on the offside, and 1 on the leg, so 1 more than you need.
He doesn't need to bowl leg side.
In comes Neesham then to bowl to Labuschagne, who smashes it through the leg side for 4 runs. Pulled away powerfully towards the grandstand.
Slog, Mike? No.
Disdain in that, wasn't there?
Yeah.
You can't bowl to me, and you can't bowl to me there, that's for sure.
It's going. 144 for 2. 10 runs needed to win for Glamorgan.
I think they'd have chased 180 here.
Good all-round team performance to bounce back from that narrow opening defeat. Neesham into Labuschagne, who goes for another big blow on the leg side, doesn't time this one, takes a single down to backward square.
You'd like to see one special shot, don't you, from Colin Ingram? Don't think he's batted on this ground many times without hitting a 6.
Doesn't really need to bring out the big shots. 145 for 2, 9 to win. 16 deliveries remain. Essex are bringing in.
Confident now, Nick?
And yes. They have now got 6 inside the circle, have the visitors. 145 for 2. Neesham bowls, Ingram misses, trying to cut a ball that was a little bit too close to the body. Ball comes back around the circle. 15 deliveries left to get 9 runs for Glamorgan. Ingram 5, Labuschagne 59.
Anything offline might disappear.
Just 3 outfielders at the moment. 4, sorry. Neesham in to bowl to Ingram. That's wide outside off stump, and Ingram misses. Update for BBC Radio Wales. And Glamorgan need just 9 runs to win their first victory of the season. They're 145 for 2, chasing 154 to win. Nick Selman, a superb innings of 65, playing lots of shots. A mature century partnership with Glamorgan's Australian star, Marnus Labuschagne, who should see them home. He's on 59 not out. Colin Ingram is on 5 not out. And Glamorgan have just 9 runs to win off 13 balls. They're 145 for 2. There's a couple of dot balls bowled to Ingram. No real cause for concern. As I say, he often likes to get a couple to get going, but there's no pressure on him here today.
No, he's given him one, no? Extraordinary.
Single available on the onside if he wants it, and it's a short ball outside off stump, and Ingram plays no shot at it. So he's going to leave his mate to do the work as just 5 off that over. 145 for 2, 9 off 2.
What an absolute load of rubbish that over was. He wasn't trying to get him out at all, Mike. He bowled one straight ball, 2 that Ingram couldn't get at. Obviously, he's trying to, surely if you get somebody out, you create a little bit of panic.
They possibly might. They could have a game plan against Ingram. They're thinking, right, this might be an area he doesn't score. I mean, if they drift anywhere near his pads, he's going. So I suppose he's thinking, right, I possibly get a dot ball if I go here. I could be going for runs. Let's drag this game out a little bit further.
So Cook to continue then, and he is bowling to Marnus Labuschagne, who's on 59. He comes in now and bowls to him, and Labuschagne is caught backward point, and he's given a send-off by Porter. Well, if you're ever good to play as Labuschagne, Mr. Porter, you'll be very good. What a great innings that was a wide ball. He chased it and sort of top-edged it, but applause from the crowd. He's not happy with himself because he likes to see the job done, and Labuschagne goes for 59.
Yeah, he came down the wicket and he gave himself a little bit of room as well, and so almost like sliced that ball down to third man over sort of backward point, a short third man, and unfortunately went straight to the field. A comfortable catch. Very, very fine innings from Labuschagne there. 59 runs.
59 off 47. Ingram, Selman rather, 65 off 45. So he's outshone the scoring rate of even his more illustrious counterpart as Chris Cook comes to try to finish the job for Glamorgan.
Yeah, it's another good 2020 player. And all Essex now are doing, and we saw there, that was another very wide ball, and they're trying to stifle Glamorgan by not letting them score. And I don't think you would have played that sort of shot normally. You would have just let it go. But Ingram on 5, Cook on 0, and it will be Cook to continue bowling to the Glamorgan captain, Chris Cook. So it's Cook without a knee to Cook with a knee, and he comes down, bowls the first ball, and a short ball which he goes to try and pull, and goes through to the wicketkeeper. 9 runs needed. There are 10 balls. I think dab here, dab there would do it. But they're bowling a little bit too wide at the moment. There's Cook coming in to Chris Cook. Chris Cook hammers that for 4 runs. That should settle it. Beautiful shot through extra cover. If anybody was trying to get a little bit itchy there, Cook will soon put them at ease. 149 for 3. 5 to win. Glamorgan could get it with an over to spare, but it's played on merit, and they're coming in on the single again. It's been amazing to me to see this field placing. I really can't work it out, but there we are. Cook again, bowls to him, and this time he's driven him up towards mid-on. They go for a quick single, but get there. That's a well run. And 150 comes up for Glamorgan, and they need 4 to win. Can Colin Ingram finish it in style, I say to myself. 59 then to Labuschagne off 47 balls, 6 fours and a 6. And it's really good. Positive batting by Selman, 65. Lloyd, a very quick 14 to get the innings on its way. Labuschagne, a superb 59. As Cook comes into Ingram and bowls to him. Oh, lovely shot down towards third man, and it stopped just inside. Ingram is coming back like a train and gets there with 2 runs. And it's all over, bar shouting. So Glamorgan looking to win by 7 wickets here. A couple of balls left. And Ingram will feel better. They get bat on ball. They're all coming in on the 1.
2 to win.
Michael Powell, I don't know. He'll explain it to me. Here's Cook. Comes in and bowls to Cook. Cook says, thank you very much. And that is the winning run from Colin Ingram. 156 for 3. Glamorgan win comfortably by 7 wickets. And there were 7 balls left, I think, Nick. And that is an excellent win for Glamorgan against Essex. And Colin Ingram is not out 11. Cook is not out 5. Michael Powell.
Yeah, comfortable win. Dragged out slightly towards the end there by Essex. A couple of late wickets, but Glamorgan's day pretty much from the off there. Essex started their innings batting reasonably well, but I think they went quiet for about 5 or 6 overs, and we had a conversation whether they should just push the singles or should push the accelerate button to give themselves a chance of winning this game. I think the fact they didn't push the accelerator button and gamble is the fact they lost this game here tonight and didn't have enough runs on the board.
Anything that Glamorgan need to do differently from this, Mike, or
no,
you're happy?
I think they look in good form. Let's just hope that David Lloyd's finger's okay for the next games coming out, because he's a big cog in this Glamorgan machine. No, they're looking good. They possibly could improve their fielding. Sorry, their fielding is very good. It's probably slightly down on what their usual standards are today, but that'll be sorted, I'm sure by the next game down at the Oval. But no, they look a good outfit, and this year, who knows, could be their year.
I know you've probably heard that, and as Michael was talking there, man of the match, Nick Selman, good for him, who's had a disappointing couple of months. But Glamorgan, they travel up to, it's a crazy system now. They play this game, they get on the bus tomorrow morning, travel up to the Oval, come back tomorrow night, Wednesday in action, Friday in action. But there we are, it's the cricket season and you want to play every day. But the supremely confident performance tonight. Nick was asking you the question of change. I might disagree and think perhaps with Sodia, it's a quick wicket at the Oval, and you might think of people like Wheel. I would also think of someone who has complete control whenever he bowls. It's Michael Hogan, because they have gone for a lot of runs at the start of the innings.
Yeah, well, we're lucky. They're sort of riches that they've probably never had before, isn't there? So Labuschagne, Colin Ingram, you forget that they're options to bowl as well. You obviously got Salter, obviously your spins option there. So Hogan waiting in the wings to get in there. You know, you've got people operating, sort of Selman getting runs, like you say, in the second team. So I'm sure Matthew Maynard and Mark Wallace they're looking at a squad of players now, rather than if we lose 1 or 2 we're in a bit of trouble, which may have been over the last few years. But now they seem to have a very strong squad who look very well drilled, who seem to have a bit of a game plan.
Yep, Nick, have a good trip tomorrow up and back. Oh, I don't know what he's doing.
I'm staying up, yeah.
Oh,
staying up. James Harris and Mark Church will be alongside me tomorrow night. My thanks to Edward Bevan, my thanks to Mike Powell for their company and their commentary and their expertise today, as Glamorgan beat Essex by 7 wickets. Selman 65, Labuschagne 59. The other batsman out, David Lloyd for 14. Colin Ingram finished on 11 not out, and Chris Cook on 5 not out. Essex 153 for 6, Glamorgan 156 for 3. Of 19 overs, Glamorgan win by 7 wickets with an over to spare. Thanks very much indeed for listening. Hope you can join the BBC Sport team again tomorrow night. If not, then Wednesday at 5, Friday at 5. It comes thick and fast. We'll bring you all the action here on BBC Sport. Thanks very much indeed.